what's going on in the U.S. right now. Fascism. That's like I kind of don't. It's kind of it's fascism. Turn to us if you need help. No way, I got this shit. But it's fascism. Like it's Trump is doing or has done all of the 14 characteristics of fascism. All 14. Like literally all 14 of them. So I don't when people go, "Oh, well, it's not." I'm like, what are you watching? Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at? Cuz I'm looking at Trump do fascism. Like plain and simple. I'm watching a fascism. Is it just me? Is it me, Jesus? Am I the drama? Yeah, I'm only doing debates today. If you're calling to ask questions or something else, you gotta come to office hours. So we'll find out. Okay. Never mind then. Today we are strictly doing debates. Don't call in if you want to agree. Don't call in if you're friendly. We're only doing debates today. No ifs, ands, or buts. Hold on. What the fuck? Why is that not working? There we go. Hello, are you here to debate? All right, what's your name, age, or pronouns? Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yes, I'm here to debate.
Okay, what is your name, age, and pronouns?
My name's Tyler. I'm 32, and he, him.
Tyler, what topic do you disagree with on the board?
I see you got pro-choice on there. I want to talk about that.
Okay, what about it?
I just disagree with being able to terminate the life of a baby.
Okay, why?
Because I think life is valuable. And I don't think that people should just be able to kill innocent life.
Why not?
Because I think it's wrong to kill innocent life.
What makes killing wrong?
Innocent life.
Yeah, what makes killing anything innocent wrong?
Well, I would say morals, for starters.
I would assume morals, but I'm asking if you can justify that moral claim with anything.
If I can justify my morality, is what you're saying?
Can you justify this specific moral claim with anything?
Well, yeah, I think humans have a right to live, and I don't think that we should just be able to just kill it.
Humans
because
have
we
a
don't
right
feel.
to live. So it's not about innocent life, it's about human life.
Innocent human life, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just innocent life. So you said killing innocent life is wrong. That's not actually the case. It's just killing innocent humans.
Oh, well, I mean, based upon the topic that we're discussing, yeah.
Sure. So killing innocent humans is wrong. Why?
They have the right to life.
What grants them that right?
Other humans grant humans the right to life.
Okay, humans grant humans the right to life.
Yeah, yeah.
So if humans, such as somebody who's pregnant, doesn't grant the fetus a right to life, then it doesn't have a right to life because it wasn't granted this by other
No, because
humans.
they're not the only one that should. Okay, so if I don't grant someone else the right to life, then I should just decide that they don't have the right to life. Then,
Okay, which humans then
so we're
grant
going off of someone else's
you?
decision.
You told me specifically humans grant us the right to life. So which humans grant the right to life? Which ones do that?
Like a general population of humans.
Okay, so if the general population, like let's say we have a country, and this whole country agrees that fetuses don't have a right to life, then you would say, because this general population believes this, it's no longer wrong to kill a fetus because the fetus does not have a right to life, which is what you claimed was the
I
moral
mean, I wouldn't
justification for
agree
not
with
killing
that
it.
because
Well,
there's
why
no one
not?
that's ever going to tell me that I would agree that just killing an innocent life is right.
Well, you made the claim when I asked you why it's wrong. You said because they have a right to life. And when I ask you how they get the right to
Yeah,
life, you say
they
humans give
literally
it.
just have a right to life.
Well, you said humans
But you're
grant that
asking
right to
where it comes
life.
from, but obviously, yeah, humans, we just know that they have a right to life. So we
Okay,
give them a right to life.
so it's just a circle then. Your answer is just a circle. Humans have a right to
Well,
life
in the
because
way that you're
humans have a right
asking
to
it,
life.
it's that's what it is.
Well, yeah. So you're saying humans have a right to life just because they're human.
Okay, let's okay. So if my argument's a circle. Let's go off of your argument then. What is
Sure.
your argument for the reason that they don't have the right to life?
I would say no sentient creature has an obligation to a non-sentient creature. So
Okay,
because there is no obligation, then the pregnant person can end the fetus's life before it's sentient, and that's fully justified.
okay. So what is sentience?
The ability to have experience.
So what is that like? If you break that down, what is that?
I don't know how to break it down any simpler. It's just the ability to have
Is it like mental
the ability to have
capacity? Is that
experience.
what it is? Like sentience is like the ability, like your mental capacity.
Mental capacity in like what way? It involves your brain. Like your brain
Yeah,
is
because I
needed to
mean,
run sentience, but what do you mean by capacity? What do you mean specifically by mental capacity?
well, they have like okay, so before sentience, they have like what no brain function or
Well,
what? I'm trying to figure out
you
like
can have
what is the
brain
sentience that
function.
you're
You
talking
can have
about.
brain function and not be sentient, but you can't be sentient without brain function.
So is it just like a limited brain function then? Is what you're saying for sentience?
No, sentience would mean that they can now experience the world around them in some relevant way. They can experience things. This could be pain. This could be emotions. This could be physical sensations. Like they can experience. A fetus prior to 24 weeks can't experience. It does not have the ability to experience. A fetus post 24
But
weeks can.
you're saying their brain in their brain they don't have the ability to
Well, they don't have
experience
they don't have the neural development to do this. So in order to be
in their
sentient,
brain.
where else would neurons be?
Okay, well that's I'm trying to break it down a little bit because what about like their DNA with all the information in it?
What does the
It's
DNA matter?
experiencing, right?
No, DNA doesn't experience. No, I don't even know what you would mean by DNA experiencing something.
Well, it's okay. So the DNA is like kind of like working without like your brain. Like you don't have to tell your DNA to work, right?
What
It
do you
just
mean
kind of
by
does its
telling your
thing.
DNA to work? Like, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so like basically, I don't have to have a conscious mind to sit there and tell my DNA to do its job. Like it's just gonna it's just gonna do what it needs to do.
Sure, there are some biological processes that are just involuntary that happen whether your brain cognitively tells it to do something or not. I don't understand the relevance
So
to
like,
the point.
I mean, it's experiencing.
No, it's not. What do you think an experience is?
I'm just saying it's doing like a job, right?
Yep, doing jobs doesn't mean that you're experiencing something. That's why I specifically asked you what you believe. When I say an organism is having an experience, what do you think I mean by that?
You're thinking of like feelings and emotions and stuff like that.
Those can be one form of experience, yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean by it. That's just kind of what I'm understanding.
So when we talk about experience, it's about like the I wouldn't say awareness, but awareness is almost a good way you could. It's the awareness of what's going on with you, right? So like if I'm, for instance, if I am in a coma and somebody's like poking me, I'm not experiencing that poking. I could be dreaming, so I'll be experiencing those dreams, but I'm not experiencing like being poked. Or like a dead body doesn't experience you like tossing it off a cliff. You know what I mean? It doesn't experience this. It's just a body.
Okay, so a person in a coma isn't experiencing, so they don't have
no,
sentience?
They're experiencing different things. They're experiencing, people in comas oftentimes can tell you about dreams that they had. They can also recite conversations had in the room while they were in a coma. This means their brain is still experiencing things. It's just they're experiencing things internally more. A fetus experiences nothing prior to 24 weeks. It experiences 0 things.
Okay.
So like, because it doesn't experience, I don't see it. There's no harm that's done when you kill it. So like, I believe that we should value a person that is sentient over a person that is not.
Okay, you just said there's no harm in killing the child?
No, not if it's not sentient. No.
Okay. I got a question. You said that there's no harm for killing a non-sentient baby. What do you think if like a man came up and like punched a pregnant woman in the stomach prior to the 24, say it's 20 weeks, she's 20 weeks along, a man comes up, punches a woman in the stomach. Was there any harm?
He harmed a pregnant woman, yeah. He punched her.
Say it end up, it killed the baby.
Okay. He didn't harm the baby.
There was no harm?
No, he didn't harm the baby. He harmed the
Well, that's not what you said, though. You didn't say you said there was no harm at all. Now, emotionally, say this woman wanted to keep the baby.
No harm
and now that baby died.
I'm sorry.
And
can you tell me what harm the baby experienced in this? Because I already said there's no harm.
Oh, well, that's not what you said. You said there was no harm.
Yeah, to the thing we were talking about, to the subject of the conversation, which was the fetus. I said the fetus can't experience anything, so therefore it can't be harmed. Not that there might not be some harm done to something that might have valued the fetus. And if you believe that, like, if you're going down this route, I don't know if like being disingenuous just comes second nature to you, but very clearly, through context clues, it was clear that I was saying that the fetus isn't experiencing harm. Hence why we just talked for 5 minutes about experience.
No, it wasn't being disingenuous. Just more of a clarifying question to the statement you said. But with that, though, you see how I did bring it up. Do you think in that situation that man should be charged with homicide in that situation?
Typically, if it's under 24 weeks, they'll be charged with unlawful termination of a pregnancy.
So not homicide?
No. I wouldn't charge you for homicide for not killing a person.
Okay.
But we even have cases where this has happened, and they're charged with.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's been quite a few cases where they've been charged with. Like say if you killed a pregnant woman. you'd be charged with double homicide.
It's dependent on the state. Typically, if it's over 24 weeks, they can charge you with like homicide. But typically, we see people be charged with unlawful termination of a pregnancy.
Thank you, Boo.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand how, like, I get what you're saying with the sentience, but I just think there's more value in a baby than just, granting it or not granting it sentience.
More value to who?
Well, I find value in human life. Whether if it's sentient human life at the time, I still believe that there is value to that life.
What's the value?
What it could grow up to be. The joy that it could bring a family.
So we value it.
There's value.
It may grow up to be good, or it may grow up to have good experiences. What if it grows up to be a second Hitler? Should we still value it then? Because it has just as much life.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. Because I highly doubt within the percentage of abortions that all of them people would have grown up to be Hitlers.
Well, if we're just like making fictional guesses on the future, I can make a fictional guess on the future, right? You're saying we're going to value it because it may have this future. It may also have this future. It may grow up to be a school shooter. It may grow up to be a rapist. Like, I'm going to value it because of something that it may turn out to. That's kind of ridiculous. We don't do that in any other instance on the planet. We tend to value things. I'm not going to. Would you live in a house if that house didn't have a roof? Would you value that house as like a livable property if there's no roof or walls? No. Right? You're going to value.
It depends on what the foundations are built on, though, right?
No, you're not going to live in a house without a roof. I
could see the potential in it, and say, you know what, this house would be way worth more if I put a roof on it.
Sure, but
I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put a roof on it.
Wait, you can see the potential, but you can't treat it like the thing that it will be until it is that thing. You can't sell this house with just a foundation for $300,000 before it's a fully formed house. No one's going to buy it from you. Do you know why? Because it's not the thing it needs to be. So I'm not going to treat a fetus like it's a fully grown human before it's a fully grown human. I'm going to treat it like what it is at the time, which under 24 weeks, it's just a body. It's just a human body. And I don't value human bodies.
A living human body.
And?
Well, why does it have to be sentience? Why can't it just be that it's human life? And that shouldn't be taken for granted.
Because prior to being sentient, it cannot experience. So therefore, I'm not going to value it more. I'm not going to grant it more moral consideration than the person who is sentient. I'm going to place their values, their needs, their wants over the non-sentient thing. Just like if somebody was like, "Hey, I wanna live here, but there's a giant rock in my way." I'm like, "Well, move the rock. It's not alive. Move it. It's not sentient. I don't give a fuck about
it." Okay. Hypothetically, because obviously this isn't really possible. If babies or fetuses couldn't feel, they didn't have the awareness, but they were able to scream as they were getting ripped apart. Couldn't feel it. They had no other sentience to it, but it was able to scream as it was being ripped apart, piece by piece, limb from limb. Would that change any views?
I'm sorry, what was the last
It was
thing
able
you
to
said?
scream, cry for help, beg you, but it wasn't feeling anything. It was just able to pretty much beg for its life. Would that change anything?
No. If it's not sentient, no. It's screaming, no. I don't give a fuck. If it's not sentient, what do I care? Because it's having some like biological reaction, and that reaction causes it to scream. Fuck do I care?
So you just like don't have a heart. Because I'm just saying, if I knew a baby, like even if I knew it wasn't feeling it, but it's sitting there screaming as it's being ripped apart, I'd probably break down crying.
Here's a question: what would you do if like a fully grown person who's I won't say fully grown. What would you do if like a 16-year-old wanted an abortion? Would you say no?
A 16-year-old?
Yeah.
Would you say I don't think I can really think of any reason that I would allow it.
What if they're screaming and crying as they're going through the pregnancy? The whole 9 months, they're just screaming and crying because it hurts so much.
Is she dying?
Yeah.
Is she being ripped limb from limb?
Yeah, I mean, pregnancy can literally break your bones. Most people's bones break during pregnancy. So yeah, they're crying, they're screaming.
Those bones are designed to.
So wait, you don't care that she's crying and screaming and in pain and all this stuff?
No, because I don't think she's being ripped limb from limb.
So you're just heartless?
Being completely tortured to death.
So you're just heartless? Do you see how these like emotional appeals don't do anything in the argument?
And your situation versus mine?
No, all you're doing is because you don't have an argument, you're just appealing to emotion. You're going, well, you're a heartless person because in this made up fictional scenario I made, you would still value the sentient person over the non-sentient person? Yeah, I would. But like you can try to appeal to emotion.
Well, I think emotions are a good part of the argument.
No, they're not.
On your end, maybe they're not, but on other people's ends, I think they are.
On any end. What you're doing, it's called virtue signaling. Because you can't think of an argument to counter my argument. You're just doing a virtue signal. You're going, oh, but look how bad of a
I have. You just don't have any. You don't see the value in my argument.
You don't have an
grant the baby sentience. I grant it human life.
No, you don't have an argument. Your argument is a circle. That's not an argument. You're going, it's valuable because it's a human. Well, why is it valuable? Because it's a human. Because it's a human. Why is it valuable? Because it's a human. Why does it being a human make it valuable? Just because it is. Your argument's a circle. You just go in a circle because you don't have a reasoning and a line of thought for this. I'd assume you probably don't have
$1.
You don't have a reasoning past,
I got my comment deleted and timed out in chat.
In my opinion, you probably don't have a reason past
this channel is a waste of time. Moderators are biased AF.
It's probably
this guy uses tabloids tactics. Slowly, you're welcome for the $1.
Well, I wanted to have a conversation without bringing religion into it, but do I believe in the Christian God? Yes.
Yes.
Do I really think that's where our values get or where we get them from? 100%.
You can't have an argument about abortion from a theistic standpoint because your argument will always have to fall on your religion. It will have to. It quite literally will have to, because you can't answer any of these philosophical questions past your religion, right? You can't tell me why human life has value. You just think it has value because the Bible told you it has value. But why does that matter? Why does human life intrinsically on its own have more value than like cow life, or more value than like gorilla life, or more value than like amoeba life? Like, what is the symmetry breaker here? What's the trait that humans possess that no other creature on the planet possesses?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you. God does give us more value than the other creatures.
Yeah, except God doesn't exist, so.
Well, he does. He definitely exists. Well, okay. What is your? I guess this is going to kind of break away a little bit from what we were talking about, but what is your theory on how everything got to be as it is?
I don't have one. I don't care how things got to be the way they are. I don't give a damn. The universe could, for all I know, the universe has always existed. Who cares? Like, what does it matter to me? This doesn't mean whether or not the universe was created by an entity, whether or not the universe zapped itself to will, whether or not the universe was made by aliens who fucked up a science experiment. At the end of the day, a God who exists and tells us that, like, our morals are what gets us to and from heaven, and that humans are these special creatures on the planet. That's not real. This is the most unreal shit in the world. The universe is billions of light years, billions of light years big. Like, how fucking special do we think we are? How big of an ego do we have on us?
How do you know that if you don't have a theory of how we began?
I don't care how we began. I don't give a shit.
Oh, you're trying to say that you're making these claims that it's billions of light years big, but how do you know that?
How do I know that the universe is large? Because we've been mapping it out.
Didn't say large. I would agree that it's large, but you're trying to put actual numbers on it.
Well, because we've looked light years ahead. And we know the universe is expanding because things that were in one place are now in another place years later. So we know the universe is moving. How big do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you believe intrinsically that God made the universe?
100%. Yeah, he spoke it into existence.
And you believe as the Bible says the universe is 6,000 years old?
So I don't know. I ponder on this quite a bit. So if I can kind of break it down a little bit. So when in the Bible it describes like how God created Adam, right? He didn't create Adam as a baby. He created him as a full grown man. So I don't know, like, if God created the world, if he kind of created it, like, even though it's new, because he just created it, he could have created it aged. I don't know.
So this is my problem. So we're just cherry picking what is and is not true religious wise. So why can't I just cherry pick that we don't have human rights based on God?
How did I just cherry pick that?
Well,
where in the Bible does it tell you exactly how old the earth is?
Well, I assume. Wait, so just confirming. You believe everything the Bible says 100%.
I believe the Bible to be true, but like to take things literal or as like get the other word. I don't know. I don't believe that everything happened like some of the stories are like real life events, more or less like.
Okay, so then again, if we're
examples,
just gonna cherry pick what's in the Bible, why? I don't cherry pick that we don't have.
I didn't cherry pick anything out of the Bible.
That is cherry picking. If you're saying some things are true and some things aren't, that is cherry picking.
No, it's based off evidence.
Nope, that's cherry picking.
Okay, especially so when in like the book of Revelations, when it talks about like the 10 horns, you think we're going to see like a dragon with 10 horns? No.
Well, the Bible's pretty literal that everything in the Bible is
yeah, that's not a literal thing. It's a
Do you believe Genesis?
Like it's a representation.
Do you believe Genesis?
Do I believe in Genesis?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you believe in the timeline of Genesis.
I don't know how. I'm not like that familiar with it, but we can walk through it, I guess.
What did God do on day one?
Ooh, sure. You got me on that one. I don't know that word for word.
Okay.
I'm like what he did on the first through the sixth day.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Nice. Yeah. So
what did he do?
God made on day one. He created light.
Okay.
What did he do on day two?
Okay. Oh, Genesis.
Okay, it's easy. I'll just tell you. Day two, he creates heaven. He creates heaven. He creates space, basically. Day three is interesting. Day three, he creates the earth. Right. So God created the earth on day three. You would agree with this?
If that's what it states, then yes. Okay. I don't have like the page open to exactly reference.
But it's interesting because God doesn't create the sun until day 4. Is the sun older than the earth, Tyler?
Like in our scientific. Clarity 1998 donated $20.
Know to be
Feel
true.
Free to boot at any time. But this argument is hilarious. Crying face.
That's what they say.
You don't believe them. So you don't believe the earth was created before the sun.
Are you saying because in the first day he said, "Let there be light"?
No. On the fourth day, he created the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars. But it is interesting that on the first day he created light and he created day and night, but he didn't create the sun until the fourth day. So how did we have day and night without the sun?
Why do you believe that the sun is the only source of light?
How else would you have nighttime, friend? Like, I just don't know where the light of the daytime would come from if not from the sun.
So on here where it says day 1 and 2, it just says let there be light, and then it says that on day 4 he created the sun, moon, and stars. But how do we know the original light would have been the sun?
Again, what makes day and night, friend?
On here where it says day 1 and 2, it just says let there be light, and then it says that on day.
Literally. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. First of all, interesting that he was hovering over the waters when he didn't create water yet, but okay. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning. How the fuck is there morning without the sun, friend?
Yeah, I got to read this more, to be honest.
Most Christians need to.
At the time, I don't. What's that?
I said most Christians need to. Thanks for calling in. Who am I thinking? Who was that sent a tip? I didn't read it. Who was that? It's not that I didn't read it. It was a couple minutes ago. Clarity. Thank you, Clarity. Let me write you a thank you note. And God said, let there be light. Except for this light. He didn't mean this light. No. He did not mean the sun, though. But there was a morning. Don't ask me how there was a morning if there was no sun. I don't know how there was morning with no sun. Hi, Chair. Hey,
Thank
bestie.
You, Boo.
Apparently. Oops. What? You guys can't hear Kiara? Can Twitch? Say something.
Yeah, sub on Twitch, nice.
No. It's not you. It's not you. It's ever since my audio system that I use on my computer updated, and ever since it changed things. But not being able to hear you is weird. Okay, hold on. Could you guys hear the caller? Yeah, because that was coming through that. Okay, so hold on. Say something now, chair. There we go. How's that, chat? Hold on, I got you. All right, now everybody should be able to hear you. Huh? Oh, word. I genuinely can't stand theistic abortion debaters.
Thank you, Boo.
I'm kind of shitting bricks. I can't tell you out loud, so I'm gonna text it to you. I'm shitting bricks. That's actually so like I'm so litty right now. Okay. Anyway, let's open the call-in line and continue this. Right? Oh, I hope there's no. Okay, I think we're good. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hello. Is this the debate guy?
Yep, it is the debate guy.
Okay. What are we debating? You wanted to still offer
hold on.
the last guy yet?
Hold please. Kiara, can you say something again? Oh shit! Yeah, you're not coming through to Twitch. Keep talking.
Hello, test.
I got it. I fixed it.
All right.
All right, person on the phone. What was your name, age, or pronouns?
My name's Matthew. It's he, him.
Age?
42.
Okay, Matthew, 42. Did you want to talk religion, abortion? There's a whole list. You could choose anything you want from the list.
Yeah, it's I think going off what I last heard about God's creation or the sequence of events, I think it's more of a reference to creation of time. You know what I mean?
You think it's more of a reference to the creation of time? How can you have...
Yeah, not like a literal like day night like we think of it.
Well, how can you have day and night time-wise if you don't have the sun? Like, how would time pass? How would we know time is passing?
Time isn't like time is a measurement of. We don't really have what time is. All we have is a measurement of a sequence of things. You know what I mean? So like, I was in the Navy. I was a radioman. So I did communications and stuff like that. And
sure, but just
we
really
had
just really quickly, he specifically.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but he specifically creates morning. Morning would mean when the sun rises. I mean, I guess you could say like morning doesn't have to be that, but like without that just makes everything subjective.
What they're talking about is a sequence of, things happening. Like, you know what I mean?
How do we
so
know?
Like you're not
how
measuring time with a watch. What you're measuring, you're measuring is the oscillation of a spring.
But how do we know how
you know
long?
What I mean?
Well, like, what do we consider a day? We consider a day when the Earth does a full rotation, right?
Yeah, but we're not like that's not time. You're just measuring.
Yes, but if God is creating day and night,
then you would say that you would measure time by when Usain Bolt crosses the finish line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, if God is specifically creating day and night, right? He's specifically saying
He's
when
creating
it's
time.
but that's not what it says. It specifically says that when there is light, it is day, and when there is darkness, it is night.
Right.
Like it specifically says that. How can it go from light to dark without the sun?
Right, because he's talking about time there.
How is talking about light and dark time?
Because that's how computers work, on off, 1 and 0. Do you understand?
When God says it is day because it is light, where does the light come from?
Anywhere. Like, we create light with our mitochondria. What are you talking about?
Okay, so are you saying God created a separate form of light from the sun?
Yeah.
What was that light? And where is it now?
I don't know. That's why they call it a mystery of faith.
So the faith is that God.
You tell me.
So instead of just saying, yo, the book has a contradiction. Instead, we're going to go, well, God created, it is a contradiction.
No, it's not.
Absolutely a contradiction.
I just told you how it wasn't a contradiction.
No, you just told me nonsense. You said,
no, I told you
God
that
just
it was created, the creation of time.
God created, it's not the creation of time. It's literally, there was light, and when that light was there, it was day, and when the light was gone, it was night. That's not just time. That is specifically saying that, no, it's not.
That's on and off. That's literally,
that's not time.
How computers work is 1 and 0. Time. You have a binary option.
That's not time.
On, off, day, night, light,
Incorrect.
Dark.
Incorrect.
How does that not make sense to you?
Okay. Am I in the Twilight Zone right now, Kiara? Did I drift
I think you're just confused.
Did I drift?
You don't really understand.
I think you're confused. I'm gonna ask again. I'm gonna ask again.
I just told you, like, logically.
I'll ask a third time. I'll ask a third time.
What?
Where did the light come from?
That could be. I don't know. It depends on how small you want to go.
Nothing else was created yet. It's just the Earth. Nothing else was created. Light was the first thing.
No, I mean, so when he made the word, he created vibrations. Like, you're familiar with string theory, right?
I'm going to just ask the question again. He created the heavens and the earth, and the first thing he did was breathe light and created day.
No, the first thing he did was speak a word. So when you speak a word, you're creating vibration. Like, what you're hearing is a vibration. You're not hearing a word. Your body's interpreting the word, and your sensory systems are interpreting the word.
This is the fault of No Child Left Behind. I'm just assuming.
I'm like so confused. Like, what's the source of day and light? Yeah, that's okay. Like, then explain it to me. Explain it to me because I'm confused. What's the source of day and light and day and night? Like, how can we determine what is day and what is night?
Depends. Like, are you using the English language or using the Hebrew language?
You can say it in Greek? German to me, Italian.
Sure. Like, what does night mean in Hebrew?
Your guys'
what does night mean in Hebrew?
Like, you're trying to.
What does night mean in Hebrew?
Be so rigid. You're doing what the Pharisees did.
What does night mean in Hebrew?
To Jesus.
What
you know what I mean?
Mean in Hebrew?
Like, you guys.
Jesus deserved worse. What does night mean in Hebrew?
I don't know. You tell me.
You may. Is this a bit?
Thank you, Boo.
Probably.
I'll just move on to the next person. Great. Thanks.
That's fine.
Well, it depends, John.
Anyway.
Oh, if we would only have a way to determine what day and night is.
I couldn't tell you what day and night is. No idea.
Yeah, we're just confused.
Couldn't tell you.
Thank you, Boo.
Day and night, that's foreign to me.
In what language?
Hello, are you here to debate?
Yep.
All right, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
I don't want to give all that.
Okay, bye. Call line's back open. Bro, what? You think I got rules? Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, I'm here to debate.
All right, what's your name, major pronouns?
My name is Nick.
Okay.
My pronouns are he, him.
And
I am 20.
Nick, 20, he, him. Okay, Nick, what do you disagree with on the board?
I'd like to talk about gender affirmation.
Okay, what about it?
So I understand, so correct me if I'm wrong, but gender affirmation is the process in which, a medical process where someone changes the gender from which they were born, correct?
No.
No?
No.
Could you then explain it to me?
Sure. Gender affirming care would just be any form of care, both behavioral, social, psychological, or medical, that exists to affirm someone in their gender identity. What it would be doing is it would be making it so that I have a feeling you're specifically talking about medical affirming care, but even social affirming care kind of fits in this as well, that it's matching up phenotypic representations of your sex to align with your gender identity. So all it's doing is it's matching your phenotypic expressions.
So it isn't just physically, it's also socially.
Gender affirming care does have a social component. This would be things like changing your name. You may possibly engage in hobbies or activities that you deemed that were deemed by society to like you not be allowed for you. Right? Sometimes people are like, well, boys can't play with dolls and stuff. So you might start doing things that society would deem like different.
All right, I understand that. So I guess in terms of like saying a boy can't play with dolls, I disagree in those terms. But I also disagree with having a child say a boy child says they're a female now. I disagree.
Thank you, Boo.
With making that a full-on claim until their mind is fully developed. Because from my research, I'll cite my source here. One sec. I have it open right here. From the one sec. I had it here a second ago. Here it are. From the NIH, the National Institute of Health, is that so 82% of transgender individuals under the age of 18 have thought about committing suicide, and 40% have attempted it. It doesn't say the success rate, but for me, that's a very high number. I don't think being transgender is wrong. What I disagree with is allowing a child to go through that before they are 18.
Hey, friend, did you read the reasonings why?
From what I understood, it was a combination of them feeling that it was a mistake, but also a combination of people mistreating them because of their choice.
Yeah, it says it. So it says in the sentence directly after the one you read. It says, using minority stress theory and the interpersonal theory of suicide, the study aims to better understand suicide risk among transgender youth. The present study examines the influence of intervenable risk factors, interpersonal environmental microaggressions, internalized self-stigma, and adverse childhood experience, and protective factors, school belonging, family support, and peer support on both lifetime suicide attempts and past 6 months suicidality in a sample of transgender youth. So it's like literally making the claim that the reason for this is like societal and familial stigmatization. Like it's got nothing to do with like gender.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, but I read that differently as this is one of the main factors, but it's not the entirety of it. I understand that's what it's claiming, but I don't see that.
Study,
I understand your point. I don't want to say you're wrong. You're probably right. it is the National Institute of Health, but it's just
the NIH is
my
just,
personal
FYI,
experience
the NIH is
as
just a collection of studies. It's not like an organization that makes claims. It's just PubMed. It's just a public library of publications. But your study is making the claim that like the suicidality is because of family and societal stigmatization.
Yeah, is it okay if I ask a question?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay, so would you be in favor of things that would reconcile and lower the self-deletion rates?
Sorry, I'm confused. What did you say? I didn't quite hear you.
So would you be in favor of care that would reduce the self-unaliving rates in trans youth?
Yes, I would. I would be in favor of any care that would stop people from killing themselves, harming themselves in any way.
So you know what that would be for trans youth specifically?
Sorry, what?
Do you know what that is? Like, we have a lot of studies on that. Like, what specifically helps with reducing self-unaliving ideations and actually decreases suicidality by a high margin. It's gender-affirming care.
I just want to read.
Is that so?
I just want to read deeper into the study. It says, really quickly. It says interpersonal microaggressions made a unique, statistically significant contribution to lifetime suicide attempts, and emotional neglect by family approached significance. School belonging, emotional neglect by family, and internalized self-stigma made a unique, statistically significant contribution to past 6 months suicidality. So like your study is saying that like it's because of everybody around them. And that and their ostracization from society, thus influencing their self-stigmatization, is what's causing the issue. So, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like a pretty good thing to do gender-affirming care, then.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I just disagree with it because in my experience, I grew up in Massachusetts, not where I live now, but I grew up there with many LGBTQ plus associates and stuff. And, in my experience, the school always recommended they go to therapy and take medicines. And many of them, it wasn't effective for them. And, it just, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it probably has helped a lot more people than I've seen. But in my experience with what I've seen it done to my friends, and I'm not saying it's their fault, they were trying, and I don't think it's the school's fault either. They were trying to find a solution to a problem that was
okay. Can I speak to you like one-to-one real quick, like person to person about something?
Yeah.
Do you think, just and roll with me on this, that coming on to a debate show where we're debating about like trans identities and how trans people deserve X, Y, and Z in society, and saying that they should not receive this treatment because of whatever reason you want to say it, they shouldn't, that you making these claims might lead to trans people listening to this to some form of like self-stigmatization?
I see your point.
And do you think that, just roll with me on this, that because we know that self-stigmatization because of societal ostracization leads to an increase in suicidality, do you think it might be actually doing the opposite of what you think it's doing when you come on and you say, hey, they shouldn't be allowed to do this, thus increasing their internalized self-stigma, thus increasing the statistical significance of them having suicidal ideation?
I feel you have a point, but I also feel like there has to be a drawn line. I'm not saying there shouldn't do it. I just feel like they should be more wary of it. I'm not saying anyone shouldn't do anything. I want to make that perfectly clear. My intent is not to make them doubt themselves. Also, I think they should, no offense to anyone, but I think there should be a common sense factor that if a random guy on the internet that no one knows that could potentially be using a false name and age just to say this, I think someone should maybe go, maybe I shouldn't listen to this guy. I don't know him. He doesn't sound very educated, does he? beyond 1-1, does he sound very educated?
Do you? Well, I mean, if you're going to admit that you're not educated, that's fine. I would say that you are.
No, I'm just asking you. Do I sound educated?
No.
No, I don't.
On this topic, no, not at all.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be smarter to, instead of going, or do you think people are going to commit suicide on this? Don't you think it'd be smarter to maybe think that your viewers are smart enough to realize, hey, this guy doesn't sound very educated. So why would I listen to anything he has to say? And
do you not think?
I just feel like you're trying to push.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Sorry, let me talk.
No, because you're.
But I also feel like you're trying to push trying to make me feel guilty for this belief by saying, "Oh, do you think what you're about to say is going to make people commit suicide?" Well, if they commit suicide, I'm sorry, but I also feel like they're smart enough to realize I'm a person on the internet. I shouldn't be trusted. And if you don't think you're smart enough to realize that, why the hell do you think this is?
So it's just that you're a person on the internet. Could it possibly be that there's an entire political administration that exists right now that's saying all the same things you do?
Well, could it also be possible that
it's just a yes or no?
Just because I say the same things, do I agree with these people?
It's just a yes. It's just a yes or no.
Thank you, Boo.
Well, you would agree with them on these topics.
I don't agree with them. No.
But you would agree with them on these topics.
I think their stance on transgenderism is way too exclusive and is unforgiving.
Wait,
and that they
you
don't
believe
people,
you believe that minors should not receive gender-affirming care, correct?
Well, when I opened this topic of conversation, I didn't. I thought it was something different than it was, and it's not that. So, if it really makes them truly stop them from hurting themselves, they can have. I believe they should have it.
Okay, but do you recognize? Let's just see if we can follow the line here. That coming up onto a stream when you are admittedly uneducated on a topic, right, and saying things that align with the actual harm being done by the current administration in the White House, that this might be a bad thing to do? If you don't think it's a bad thing to do, then that's fine. Just say, I don't think it was a bad thing to do.
In all honesty, I feel that in reality, that maybe in its message it was bad, but the action itself and its intention was not evil.
I didn't say it was evil.
Well, I meant bad. Sorry, I didn't mean evil. That's just me not speaking English like a normal person.
If you don't think it's bad, that's fine. You don't think it's bad. That's all I was asking.
I don't think the action was bad. I think the message was bad. Something I didn't think of, which is undoubtedly my fault. And if anyone feels like if I offended anyone, I'm sorry, but it was not my intention. But
sure, I would say impact is more important than intent. But if you disagree, that's fine.
Well, that's an interesting conversation to have, because I could as much as you want to say the administration is saying all the things I'm saying, I can think of so many things that have intent but have worse impacts that I could say your administration did that you're defending. I mean, that you can say that impact is more than effect, but you also, no offense, I don't know if you do this, but there's also, you have to admit, a lot of contradictions of what people say if impact's more than effect, but then it.
Sorry, what's my administration?
Well, you are a leftist, correct?
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't say your administration. I would say the last administration.
You did say my
administration. Your administration would
That's just why I was confused. He hung up. You did. Oh my God.
I gotta do a mod announcement. We only have 13.5k likes on TikTok. Crazy. Why? With 300 people in here, we should definitely be well over 100k at this point.
Someone just said, what the Sigma?
So please go ahead and tap the screen, share the live. You can copy the link. That also pushes us out to the algorithm. If you want to check out Javon's link tree, we have
I'm gonna pee while you do this, Gara.
Yes. We have Twitch, we have YouTube, we have Instagram. Javon is really, really popular on those platforms. He's a Twitch partner. He is also very famous on Instagram at this point, so please head over and support him there as well. We see a tip jar, $400. We should be able to do that. So if everybody would send $1, we would already be done with this goal. So you can hit the pay links. If you are interested in debating, you can call in. The call-in line is on YouTube. Please remember that we're taking debates only today. So if you have a question, there's a Discord for any pressing issues. And Javon is also offering office hours soon, so he will address your questions at that time. If you have any extra dollars, like why not support your favorite debater who's providing a lot of entertainment and education?
Thank you, Boo.
I might do office hours after stream today. We'll see. All right, let's open the call-in line back up. I think if I do office hours, I'm going to do like everybody gets 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Should I get Wendy's? Yes. Buck, thank you for the $1, friend. It's well appreciated. Heller, are you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
All right, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
First name, Mariano. Age, 41. Pronoun. Last one I had was Sergeant Major.
Well, no, that wouldn't be a pronoun.
Oh, my bad. Confused on that.
On pronouns? What did you say? Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?
Mr. Canuto, I guess.
That's not a pronoun either.
Mr. Yeah. That's not a pronoun? Well, what is? Can you help me out here?
Okay, you don't know what pronouns are? What did you say your name was?
Ariano.
Spell that.
Ariano.
All right, Ariano. Do you go by he or do you go by she?
Oh, I'm a he. Yeah,
so
I'm a he.
weird.
I have XY, right? Isn't that what makes you a man?
That's not what makes you a man.
Then what is it?
Man would be a gender identity. Gender identity is an internal self-perception of your sex and how that's oriented in your body. It's not XY. That would be your chromosomes, which would relate to your sex typically.
What? Okay, your chromosome relates to your sex.
Typically.
Then what makes you? Then how are your pronouns derived? Based off your sex, or just what you want?
Based off your gender identity.
Oh, gender identity. Okay. Yeah. I disagree with that because, like,
based on what?
Scientifically speaking, if you have a certain chromosome, it links to your sex, and your sex would be how I would address you, right? Scientifically.
So wait, you call all women females?
I mean, if they're a female, yes.
So you don't call people men and women, you just call them females and males?
A female is, what is a female? Is it not a woman?
Do you think all females are women?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a chance to take that sentence back if you want to think about it, but you believe all females are women?
Yes, 100%. I mean, unless you can help me understand it scientifically otherwise, not through your opinions, but scientifically.
Sure. If I have
like, if I didn't know you, female, like, for example, let me give you an example.
Well, hold on.
If I didn't know you, and all I had was your DNA, how would I derive?
Can you just tell me what? Can you just tell me what a 2-year-old female is?
Huh?
Can you tell me what a 2-year-old female is?
It's still a female.
You said all female are women, correct?
Yeah, she's still.
So you believe a 2-year-old is a woman?
She's going to be a woman. She's a woman.
Not gonna be. You said all females are women. So is this 2-year-old a woman?
She is. I just told you she is a woman.
2-year-olds are women.
She's a woman in a different stage. If I look at a sapling that's going to be a fucking big ass maple tree or oak tree, it's called a sapling, but it doesn't change the fact that it's an oak tree. The same with a woman or a man, right? That is young and is not fully developed yet. It doesn't change the fact that it still has that chromosome, and that's what it is.
You heard it here first, chat. All 2-year-olds are all women.
They're women. It's young. It's a woman. She's gonna be a woman.
Oh, you think
she may be a girl right now, but she's gonna be a woman.
You didn't say that all females are gonna be women. You said all females are women.
I mean, are we playing with words here? That's why I said explain it to me scientifically. How she's not like her chrome. Explain it to me like if you all you have is somebody's DNA. How do you determine their gender?
You don't.
How do you determine their gender?
You can't.
If all you have is DNA, you don't know like just that person's DNA. Well, you could look at their chromosomes, and figure some stuff out.
That's sex.
But I don't want to get stuck on this subject.
Of course you don't. You just admitted you think 2-year-old are women. Of course you don't want to stick on this subject.
Homie, like that's what she's gonna be.
I wasn't asking what she was gonna be. I was asking what she is.
You can play with the words all you want, but
do I need to rewind the tape?
Fact of
do I need to rewind the tape when you said she is a woman?
Run from that.
Do I need to rewind the tape to where you said she is a woman, not she's gonna be a woman?
You can rewind it all you want, and you can rewind it right to the point where I'm telling you, your chromosomes don't lie. Your DNA doesn't lie, and that's what proves what you are. 100 years from now, when they dig in a grave and they find your body, and they're going to examine your DNA, what would they determine you are?
Hold on. Simple question. What chromosome can give birth? What chromosomes give birth?
The female chromosome. XX.
Which are what? Okay. So XX makes you a woman, right?
Apparently, that's what the scientists have discovered.
Okay, so nobody who's XY can give birth because that would make you a man, right?
I guess.
Okay, that's what we're going with. Give me 1 second. I just, I guess there's just something that I'm wondering really quickly. Let's just do this real quick.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, sure. Kiara, can you see the screen right now?
Yes.
Could you read what's on the screen to me really quickly?
Mm-hmm. Pregnancy and delivery in a patient, and then it's cut off.
I got you. Don't worry.
With pure 46XY carrier type. Summary of actual knowledge about.
Homie, like.
Oh, okay. So just really quickly, just really quickly. So there have been. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not.
Have her piece read the whole thing out if you want. Don't Google whatever you want.
I'm not talking to you right now.
Straight off. I'm sitting here straight off my mind. I don't have no Google computer in front of me. And like I'm telling you,
crashing out.
Scientifically,
are you crashing out?
XX and XY is what you are. Is what determines your sex, your gender.
You said that XX is women, but here we have a summary of knowledge about XY women, and specifically an XY woman who not
How
only
many
got
of
pregnant,
them? What's that percentage?
What is the frequency
What's the percentage
matter? Why does
that?
the frequency matter?
Give me the ratio.
Why does the frequency matter? If just one person exists in this way, it destroys your logic.
Oh my God, no, it's not, bro.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you can say that all you want. I'm gonna look at the scientific data and
you're
how
not,
much
because
of
here
it
I have scientific
exists
data in front of you, and you're ignoring it.
You can't.
I literally have scientific data in front of it, and you're ignoring it. I literally have scientific data in front of you, and you're ignoring it.
And I'm asking you, what's the ratio? How many people with that chromosome has like? Give it to me. Give me the ratio.
I'm sorry. If one person does, then that means women are not specifically XX. This wouldn't be a man.
Tell me how many people with male chromosomes
Jesus Christ,
that
you're
were
too
born
stupid to
DNA,
even understand.
male
You're too stupid to even
chromosomes
understand the
birth of
fucking
child.
argument. You're too dumb to literally understand the argument. That's embarrassing.
I haven't insulted you.
I'm insulting you because you can't understand the argument.
If you have to resort to insults, I understand.
Well, no, I've done the argument. You're too dumb to follow the argument. That's two different things. I've 100% insulting you, yeah, because you are incapable of following the argument.
Lay out your argument.
So here we have your claim is that all women must have XX chromosomes. Yet here we are have a woman who has XY chromosome karyotyping, and not only has this, but got pregnant and delivered a baby, even though they have XY chromosome karyotyping.
Okay, and all I'm asking you
is the answer is that
take all the data that they have. How many times did that happen?
The answer is not all women have XX chromosomes. That's the answer. That's the answer. Okay. You can try to pivot. You can try to move the goalpost.
I agree with that. Then
there you go. XX doesn't make you a woman. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
There can be
XX doesn't make you a woman. Great, beautiful. We agree.
There can be some variations, but the norm is still the norm.
Doesn't matter what the norm is. We're not talking about norms.
There can be slight variations.
Hold on. We're not talking about what is typical. We're not talking about the norm. Right now, what we're talking about is a necessary condition. What must you have to be a woman? It's not XX chromosomes because here we have.
I told you, and I'm not going to change XX.
Yes, because because you don't know what necessary means.
Okay, so
define necessary.
I heard you talking with another gentleman earlier about
I'm not doing
the creation of the universe and God.
I'm not doing anything until you define the term necessary for me. Tell me what necessary means.
I don't have to bend to your term.
Okay. Yes, you do. Actually, it's my show. Fun fact. You actually do. Hate to tell you.
I love hanging out with you.
Oh, thanks, Chair.
This is our little kind.
Just so everybody knows, in scientific literature, there are two syndromes have been described in the presence of pure 46XY karyotype when an individual is phenotypically and psychosexually identified as a woman, androgen insensitivity syndrome, AIS, and pure gonadal degenesis, XY, GDXY, Swyer syndrome. Thanks to the presence of a uterus and Swyer syndrome, we can treat this type of sterility with donated, is it ossites? Whatever they're pronounced. The paper describes both syndromes from prenatal, genetical, endocrinological, oncological, reproductive, and perinatal. Medical words are tough. Perinatological points of view. A case study concerning a patient with pure gonadal degenesis, XY, who successfully became pregnant through a donated oocyte program, is also described. The pregnancy progressed physiologically, and healthy boy was delivered in term by cesarean section. In world scientific literature, at least 15 successful pregnancies with pure gonadal degenesis, XY, have been described. In spite of the expectation of diminished uterine capacity, children are born to term with a normal delivery weight. It's just that motherfuckers don't like to be wrong. Plain and simple. They go, well, we follow the science until the science disagrees with them. And then they're like, well, what science? Science where? And then they vote in somebody that makes us all legally female. Which is even more embarrassing. Anyway, call line's open. If y'all can't tell me what a necessary condition is, don't try to talk to me about the first topic. You're just going to make yourself look stupid. Hello, are you here to debate?
You want to buy information on ICE?
Anyway, call line's still open.
Why is Republican humor never good?
I don't fucking know.
It's never good. I never laugh.
I agree. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yeah, I am. How are we doing today?
Chillin'. What's your name, age, or pronouns?
Mark. I'm sorry. Pronouns are he, him.
All right, Mark, and your age?
I'm 23.
Thank you, Boo.
Okay, Mark. What are you here to talk about today?
So my only thing that I really disagree with you on would be the gender affirming care for minors.
Okay, why?
I believe that, that they shouldn't be allowed to make those types of medical decisions for themselves based off of we are not allowing people of that age to drink or any sort of those other activities.
Those would be societal decisions. So like us saying that they can't drink, that's just like us, right? They drink younger in Italy, don't they?
Yeah, in Germany too.
Yeah, they
so,
do.
Germany and
No, they
Italy,
do.
we have drinking age of 16.
So then I wouldn't say that this is a hardline decision based on some like developmental capacity of them, right? So what would be the difference between like being able to drink at like 15 in France and not being able to drink and being able to drink at 21 here?
The prefrontal cortex is just not developed enough, and I feel like any of those decisions should be 21, as in drinking, smoking weed, any sort of drugs like recreational drugs or anything like that. Even I think that people should have to wait before they shouldn't be allowed to be 18 going into the military because they don't have the prefrontal cortex to be able to actually make those decisions in a fully informed manner.
Okay, great. So then let's just analyze this for a second. You don't believe that anyone under the age of 18 should be making decisions that are like life altering, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If I have a 15-year-old who gets pregnant, should they have an abortion or should they carry the pregnancy to term?
That is their decision. I'm very pro-choice. So
sure. Both of these decisions are life altering, though.
Yes and no. It's having the child, there's more stuff on that where you can actually, further push it, or where you could, get rid of the baby. It doesn't have to be a life altering other than just the medical,
just going
risks
through
that go along with pregnancy.
Well, just giving birth in general will affect your body for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So
that would be life altering.
But so sorry, you like the way that you're trying to make this argument, is it that the person, like letting the person go to term? Are you saying that we should just immediately abort the child at that age, or
nope,
are you saying,
I'm saying that you do allow
the decision itself?
No, I'm saying that you do allow people under the age of 18. You don't actually have an issue with them making life altering decisions because this is a life altering decision. You're okay with them making that choice for themselves, right? If we're saying 15-year-olds are too young to make a decision about gender affirming care, but they're not too young to decide if they want to raise a baby.
Well, I don't think 15-year-olds should be having sex in general. So I feel like they aren't old enough to make that decision.
Wait, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, right? Like this would just be trying to like ignore the point because you're like, well, I don't think they should have sex, but they do. So when they do and they get pregnant, you're saying it's okay for them to go through with the life altering decision of childbirth, whether or not it's them caring for the child for life or not. But you're not okay with them making the life-altering decision of gender-affirming care, which they aren't doing alone anyway. They're doing it with doctors and parents and therapists and the like. What's the symmetry breaker? Why is it okay to go through with the life-altering decision of childbirth and they can make that choice for themselves? Wouldn't we say in to be logically consistent, parents should now make all the choices for anybody under the age of 18 that gets pregnant?
Yes and no. No, I get where you're coming from on this end, where it's, that is a good argument to pull up, and I like that. It seems like it's a base by base cases with this, but I can completely. I was trying to think now because I really like your argument here.
Take your time.
Yeah, actually, for the sake of this argument, I will have to say yes. I do believe in that situation that the parents should have some sort of say in helping with that. But also, then you go to the people who don't have parents or don't have parents that are actually working out. So I feel like it's case by case basis with this. I think that you changed my mind a little bit on this with the gender affirming care for minors, because there are probably some minors that do know, but my own brother in my own case with my thing is my female to male brother has now gone in the reverse stage and trying to go back from male to female because he has regretted his decision that he made, and I guess that's just like he now is never going to have the feminine traits that he now wants.
I mean, he can if he has the affirming care to have those traits back. He can do facial feminization surgery.
No, it's more of the vocal stuff where he has an Adam's apple and all that stuff, and is just not able to. He's going to have a deeper voice for the rest of his life.
Well, no, they have vocal feminization surgery as well, but also just voice training will help feminize his voice.
No.
Her voice, I guess, if she's wants to.
Another thing that I was uninformed about. So thank you for that fact.
All right. Was there anything else?
Yeah, the Christian God being evil was another thing that I didn't quite follow across.
Okay.
With you.
Yeah, the Christian God is evil because he does evil shit. He tortures people, kills people, makes people suffer needlessly when there doesn't need to be suffering. I would just say a being like that.
So
is
are
evil.
you saying that his lack of actual physical action in our world is the reason why he would be evil?
No, I'd say the physical action that he's taken, the actual stuff he's done.
Which would be you're talking the floods and the famines and the plagues
Flood would
and all
be
that
one.
stuff?
Killing all the giants, that'd be another. What he did to Job was fucked up. What he did to Abraham was fucked up. What he did to his own son was really fucked up.
Well, technically Jesus isn't his son. Jesus is God himself, if you were to actually go off of the real Christian Bible.
So just confirming, when Jesus existed on the earth, God was nowhere to be found. God didn't exist anymore.
He was in human form.
So there was no God outside of Jesus when Jesus existed. So when Jesus
because the God is split into three different things: the Son, the Holy Spirit,
when Jesus would speak to God, he was speaking to nobody at this time.
Twitch, nice.
There wasn't anybody there.
He was speaking to himself.
But he specifically refers to God as a separate entity. He speaks to a separate entity.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity. Like you said, you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That is what makes God God.
Okay. So Jesus and God are not the same person.
No, they are. That's the whole reason why Islam and Judaism is all split into three different sectors, because Judaism and Islam do not agree that God was Jesus.
Okay, why does Jesus specifically claim that to be equal with God if they're different people?
It was before. There's this line in the scripture. I don't have the exact quoting off the top of my head, but it is before he was, I am. And in the Hebraic translation, it is spelled Yahweh is to be. So he's saying that he is God. That is the whole difference between Christianity and all of the.
I'd still say what God did to him was fucked up.
Well, I mean, if you believe this, I don't force anybody else to believe the religion that I believe, but the way that Christianity is, the way that I believe it is that he did that to save all of us from the sins that humans create and do every day. And
really? What did Jesus do? What did Jesus do at the Garden of Gethsemane?
I do not know off the top of my head. It has been 3 years since I've read scripture fully.
Okay, so in the Garden of Gethsemane,
I don't attend.
Sure, no, that's fine. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus specifically prays to God. He prays to the Father, calls him Father, and he says, "If Thy will be done." What specifically it says? He said, "If it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as You will." He's specifically saying that what's about to happen. Right? What's about to go down, because he knows what's about to go down. He knows he's going to be betrayed by Judas. What's about to go down is not his will. It's not Jesus's will. It's the Lord's will, the Father's will.
Yeah, because that's because it's split into, like I said, the Holy Trinity. So the Father is another piece of God, as well as the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Jesus was his own person that didn't want to be punished. He didn't want to be tortured.
That never said that either. He was willing to take any sort of punishment to forgive every living person, neither past nor present.
Not as I will, but as You will.
Yes, because he's a different part of the entity of God. That's the whole.
But that means this was not what was about to happen. The betrayal by Judas, him getting crucified, was not of Jesus's will.
Yeah, it was not the will of the Son. It was the will of the Father and the Holy Spirit.
So then again, I say what God did to Jesus was kind of fucked up. Jesus didn't want any of this to happen. Here's another question. God's all powerful, right? Like he's an all powerful being.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just forgive our sins without sacrificing and torturing Jesus?
Because during the Garden of Eden, that's when we broke his trust. I mean, it
doesn't answer the question. Why couldn't he just forgive our sins without torturing Jesus?
Because there was a price that needed to be paid.
Why was there a price that needed to be paid?
Because we broke God's trust. Like if
so God wait. So God set the rule and God made the price. So God couldn't have said you don't need to pay this specific price. God did that, right? God set the rules. God created the price. God created the test. Why couldn't he have just said, I'll just forgive you? If you're going to forgive them anyway, why torture your son/self to do so when all you have to do is snap your fingers and bada bing, bada boom, everybody's forgiven. Unless he's not all powerful, unless he made a rule that he couldn't change.
I don't think it was the rule that he couldn't change. I think it was more of just like him humbling himself, becoming human and bringing his spirit into a human body to live like a human in the most perfect way possible to show that it can be done, and then sacrificing himself to abstain all of us from the sin of human.
Would we say Jesus lived the most perfect life that he could have? I wouldn't. I mean, God specifically, it goes against adultery, but Jesus hung out with hookers.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing, is that he's all forgiving. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, Jesus loves you.
So then what's the point of the rules? What's the point of the rules if all you have to do is ask for forgiveness and the rules go out the water?
Well, because humans aren't perfect. That's the whole story of Adam and Eve, is to show that we are flawed. We took our free will that was given to us and we used it to pervert of what we were originally made to do.
Yeah, but what's the point of the rules?
It's the rules that we should live by.
But it doesn't matter if we do or don't. Because as long as you follow Jesus and believe in Jesus, what do you mean? You just said Jesus was about forgiveness. Does he forgive you if you break the rules or not?
No, but the whole thing is that we are imperfect. So if you try to live by those rules in the best way as possible, then Jesus will forgive you because you are actually trying to live a good life. Say somebody were to, if I loved somebody and they kept coming back and cheating on. Oh yeah, go ahead.
The hookers weren't trying to live by those rules. The prostitutes he hung out with were not trying to live by these rules. They were actively not trying to live by these rules. So I'm just confused. Does Jesus only forgive you if you are trying to live by these rules or not?
Well, he is trying. He's trying to get these people to, like, the whole thing about him speaking with you don't want to talk to the people who already believe you and believe what you're saying. You want to try to say, like, if he really loved everybody, he's trying to save everybody and make people live a good, life. He's going to go talk to the people who are not following the doctrine and stuff like that.
So Jesus was hanging out with Mary Magdalene, the prostitute, and just chilling, right? Because he was trying to turn Mary Magdalene towards himself, towards God, towards Christ?
Yes.
Why?
That was the reason why.
If Jesus's whole point on earth was to get people to go towards God, why not just show up as God? He's done it before. Why all of a sudden could he not just show up as God?
Because he was humbling himself. He was humbling himself to show that he can live as a human in a righteous way.
Is God all knowing? Let me ask you, does God know all?
Yes.
So he knew that he could live as a human in a righteous way. He didn't actually have to do it. He knew that he could.
Yeah, but if you don't believe in God anyway, somebody had just said that he's all knowing and can come and live as a righteous way, then he actually does it.
Huh?
like I said, no, I'm saying like if somebody who doesn't believe in Christianity at all.
Wait, but you said it wasn't what it was. It's not about us. He's trying to prove to himself that he could do it.
No, he's humbling himself so that he can come and show us. Like he's showing us that a human can live a very righteous life.
I wouldn't say Jesus lived a very righteous life. I think Jesus lived a normal life. What's righteous about flipping tables at a market just because that market is in a church? What's righteous about hanging out with prostitutes? What's righteous about that?
Well, because Christianity as a whole is supposed to be, or Catholicism, as a whole is supposed to be a loving religion, and you're not supposed to be doing business inside of a church. That's why I don't believe in a lot of the.
It's supposed to be loving.
Churches nowadays.
What about any of the time prior to Jesus existing would tell us that Christianity is supposed to be, or just tell us that like living under God is supposed to be loving? What part of the Bible pre-Jesus tells us that?
So you're talking about the Old Testament, which is technically the Torah, or the.
Well, you're saying that Jesus got mad because these people weren't living in a loving way, but nothing in the Bible prior to him existing would tell them that they had to live a loving way. What in the Bible would tell them this prior to him existing? So they should just know a rule that nobody. The Ten Commandments aren't about loving.
Yeah.
Which one? It's about respecting and fearing. Which commandment is about loving?
Love thy neighbor like you love thyself.
Love thy neighbor like you love thyself. Okay, so sure. Let's say this 10 commandment is about loving. So it's love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Sure. How does this equate to them not selling? How does this equate to them not selling in a church?
Because churches are supposed to be meant for the worship of God. They're not meant to be making money.
What's that have to do with loving thy neighbor, though?
What you're saying, like, why are you saying to one specific term of him going into the church and going into the church?
You said the reason why. You said the reason why what they were doing is bad was because they were not showing the loving side that they were supposed to, and so Jesus got angry. But like, what about them doing this doesn't show?
He got angry. So that's not that wasn't the argument that I was trying to make towards him going into the market and flipping the tables. The argument for that is that God has said that churches are supposed to be for worshiping only, and he went into this market his old church that is supposed to be dedicated to the Father, and literally sees them doing business, which is not what it's supposed to be. So that's why he got angry.
This justifies him not treating them with respect.
Well, how is he not treating them with respect by that?
Well, how did he drive them out?
Well, if you were in your father's house and somebody turned it into something that it wasn't supposed to be used for at all, and literally was something that is greed and debauchery, wouldn't that upset you a little bit?
Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. Throwing tables and benches, that's loving thy neighbor as you love thyself?
Yeah, love isn't always easy, and love can be
abusive,
mean to the other person.
Love
I wouldn't say abusive.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Say that sentence again. Love can be mean to the other person.
Yes. So, but it depends on what the other person, sees. Like, are you saying that it would be if a child was about to walk off the side of a ledge, screaming at that child to not walk near that ledge? If you weren't able to immediately grab them, trying to get them to not do that, it might seem mean and evil, but you're doing it out of love. You're being mean towards that child and scaring them, or being, aggressive towards them with the term of you're trying to keep them safe and love them.
So being aggressive is okay if you're doing it out of love.
I wouldn't, as you trying to say that I'm trying to say physically aggressive, because that's not where I was going with this either.
I'm just
because
asking.
It's not. Because he didn't physically harm any of the people in the market. All he was doing was getting rid of
So as long as let's say I want to punish somebody but I want to do it out of love. As long as I don't physically harm them, I can like destroy all their shit. Like if I have a son that breaks the rules, I could take his Xbox out into the driveway and like destroy it. And like because I didn't physically harm him, there was no abuse or there was no emotional.
I don't see how that's out of love. That seems like
Well, I'm trying to teach him a lesson. I'm destroying his property to teach him a lesson that what he did was wrong, which is what Jesus did. He entered the temple. He destroyed people's property to tell them that this is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this.
Yes, that is what he did. He went to his house, his father's house, to then push out people who would like. It's not. I can see where you're coming from, what you're trying to spin here, but
what?
I don't see the whole it being abusive or like that. He didn't harm any of them. He got rid of the stuff that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. He was reclaiming his own house, basically.
So it's okay to destroy someone's property. It's okay to destroy someone's property?
And in this instance, yes. For the instance of Jesus going into the temple and flipping stuff, yes.
Okay. How do you think anything else God's ever done has been like abusive like this?
I would say the one thing that I could say where I would probably say it could be technically considered an evil act upon mankind would be the plagues that he did upon the Egyptians.
Okay, so he did do some evil stuff, but just the plagues.
Yeah, I mean the plagues were evil, but the people that's the thing is like those Egyptians were slave drivers. They were keeping the Jewish people enslaved. So like the act itself, yes, is evil. But another thing is we're looking in the morality of mankind when we're talking about a being that technically does not exist within our morality.
So like we don't think it was abuse the way he treated Job?
No, it was a test of faith.
A test for who?
Job and Satan.
Is God all-knowing?
Yes, God is all-knowing.
So he knew that Job would pass the test?
Not entirely, because all-knowing doesn't mean that you're able to... Because, no, that doesn't mean that he's not all-knowing because we have free will. So Job could have at any...
Knowing literally means to know all. He's not like some knowing. He doesn't know some things. He knows all things.
If you were able to know every decision somebody was going to make, but that doesn't mean that you know exactly. Like you can see every timeline.
You'd have to know exactly which decision they're going to make. Otherwise, you're not all knowing. You're just all seeing. But he is specifically described as all seeing and all knowing. So he can see every choice, and he knows which choice you're going to make.
Yep.
So he's all knowing. So why did he have to test Job?
To show Lucifer.
Does Lucifer know that God is all knowing?
Yes, he does.
So couldn't you just say, hey, Lucifer, I used my all knowing God powers. Job wins the bet.
Thank you, Boo.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Lucifer is still going to listen.
Why wouldn't Lucifer listen to God? Lucifer knows God is all knowing.
Yes, because he's prideful. He's too prideful to admit that God is right in the way that the God wanted to run the world was right. That's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why he was cast out from.
Then why did God tell Lucifer about Job in the first place?
Because he was making it. He was showing that these are the people, and I know for a fact. He literally said, "I know that Job would not." Even if I were to smite his children, is that he knew that Job...
Did he know that when he told Lucifer about Job, that Lucifer would then kill all of Job's children, all 7 of them?
Probably he did.
So he purposely offered up Job to Lucifer with the express knowledge that Lucifer would kill 7 people. For a bet that he didn't need to offer up to Job. And we're not calling this evil? This is not an evil action?
It might seem evil to you or I, but it's That's the whole thing. Is he's God. There's a different set of rules for a being of that immense power and knowing.
Okay, so if God says to do something, it's not evil.
No, I'm not saying that if God says something that it's not evil.
Okay, you just did though.
I did. Okay.
You said it's not evil because it was the actions of God. Like if anybody else had done that, you would have called them evil. But because God did it,
if any human had done that, probably yeah. If any human had done that, yes.
So any action taken by God is not evil.
No.
Okay, if God comes down and it's 100% God, and he tells you that you have to kill 700 babies, this is not evil? You would do it? Because it's God telling you?
I'm sure he has some bigger plan. That's not it's not my position to question a being that I believe in.
But you would kill the 700 babies.
Of that much power. So you're saying 100% God, 100%,
yeah, 100%
he confirms
God.
that he is real?
Yep.
Yes. Because that means that because in that situation, 100%, if it's 100% him, if I don't listen to him, I'm going to hell anyway, so I might as well listen so I can try to get into heaven. Because then I know for a fact that heaven and hell are real.
What if the babies are screaming in pain?
In this hypothetical situation, like I said, it's the choice between everlasting life and everlasting damnation. I'm going to choose everlasting happiness and life.
Okay, that's all I needed. Shout out to the tipper. Somebody did tip. But I'm not allowed to tell you guys who. But shout out to them. And we need to add $108 to the goal. So if somebody wants to add that.
He really said that, didn't he?
Yeah, that he would kill 700 babies. Yeah.
Okay.
Grown-ups believe in fairy tales so much that they would kill 700 babies. It's fucking crazy, bro. Oh my God. I'm just going to start when I ask them that question, Kiara, making it so ridiculous. Because I think when we go, so you'd kill your kid? Nah, God's already done this. Just make it as ridiculous as possible. As ridiculous. So you would kill 1 million school-aged children if God asked you to?
This is fucked up, but people appreciate it. You know that shredder for the male chicks? Would you put 2 million kids for?
Would you kill 2 million kids in the chick shredder if God asked you to?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but maybe it's just me. I would rather go to hell.
And then I'm bad for having like one abortion.
Anyway, let's open the call-in line back up. Would you say the N-word with the hard R if God asked you? Hello, are you here to debate?
Absolutely, I am.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Lily. I'm 18 and I go by she, her.
Oh, did you said Lily?
Yes, I did.
Okay, misheard you at the start there. No problem, Lily. 18, she, her. Lily, what do you disagree with?
Okay, well, so I don't disagree with pro-choice. I had my own opinion, and I wanted to know what you thought.
Just really quick, Lily, just really quick. We are doing office hours at the end of debates where people can call in with like questions and stuff. For now, we're just looking for debaters, people that like staunchly disagree with the topics.
Can I at least share with you what I think? So, because I think all these other people like abortion, you know, all the people who like disagree, I think they're stupid. Can I at least please give you my like take?
I would just when we switch to office hours, you can call back and do that. Okay.
Okay. So wait, hang on. What is that? What do you mean? Like
when I'm done debating, the screen will change that says office hours, which I'll let everybody come up and people that want to ask me questions or anything like that.
So
But
the
right
stream
now I'm
will still be
trying.
going.
Yeah, the stream will still be going. It's just right now I'm doing just strictly debates.
Okay. I think that last guy was an idiot.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll call back later.
All right, no problem. We about to start doing unannounced dropping, for real. All right, call line's back open. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yeah, I just had one thing about the like you debunking the money lenders and stuff. I just felt like that guy didn't do a good job defending that. So I just kind of want to explain that because also that was like oh sorry I'll let you talk.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you disagree with one of the topics on the board?
Yeah, I would say Christian God being evil. Yeah.
Okay. What is your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Mike. I'm 23. Male.
Okay. So what are your pronouns?
He, him.
Thank you. Okay. You disagree that the Christian God is evil.
Obvious. Yes, that one.
Okay.
Okay. I just actually kind of just want to ask you a question because I felt like you were kind of putting words in that guy's mouth and then building a straw man and debunking it. But so if someone basically, because okay, you would agree that people are sometimes pushed to do things they are wrong, right? But they can be pushed to do it by someone else.
Sure.
Yeah, like okay, so someone's stealing food right from a grocery store, something. Someone else caused that person to be in poverty, right? Caused them to be in like a place where, it's like a rough place where they turn to going to something desperate, right? So in the temple, those money lenders, it wasn't just like they made it into a market. So people were coming there and it's God's house, right? And you're supposed to, so again, that's what he's saying. He's destroying their property. It wasn't really their property because they never should have. That was actually against the law at the time to like be setting stuff up in that temple. So if they would have built outside the temple and he would have destroyed everything, I would have said, yeah, that's true. But
Wait, so
you built something in someone else's house.
It was no longer their property because they built it in a public place that Jesus claimed
No. Well,
ownership
it's
over?
not like it's not like a public place. Okay, because like
public place.
I don't know. You're trying to debunk me on this, but I feel like you would even agree. Like there's certain buildings, right, where it's not like I couldn't go and set up a market in a parliament building, right, and start selling stuff. No, I get in trouble for that, right? So that's what I mean. It was allowed because these were the money changers and the money lenders, so they were holding power basically, and they were, like that. That's why he got mad and he kicked them out because the thing was supposed to be about God and people's relationship with God and whatnot, and they were turning it into like basically capitalism and a ploy to extract money from people who are desperate. So they were like, going to a temple for religion, and then they were getting kind of scammed. So.
Sure. How does this counter any of the other things I said about?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, okay, so what would you do in that situation then?
I probably wouldn't destroy.
Because like you're saying
stuff.
that was evil of him to destroy the property.
No, I didn't say it was evil. No, I didn't say it was evil. No, what I said was he said that God lived basically perfectly as a man, as righteous as he could, and I would just claim that was not a righteous act.
I
don't believe he was acting righteously when he did that. I think he was acting more selfishly and more in line. I mean, it's
well, okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, continue.
I was just gonna say I don't believe that like what he did was like a righteous thing, quote unquote. I think he was more.
Okay,
he did something out of anger.
Can I ask then why you think it was selfish?
I probably would change. I probably wouldn't use the word selfish. I know I just did, but I probably wouldn't say selfish. I would say it was he did it out of anger more. And I don't really believe in like righteous anger as much.
Well, okay, but do you get angry about things like I would say like, okay, let's say Elon Musk, and I know you think I'm probably Republican stuff. I don't like Elon Musk either. Probably Antichrist. If anyone's going to be one, he's weird. I don't like him. But like him, right? He gets you angry. And if he was in front of you, you would probably want to do something violent, right? Do you think you would be evil for having that feeling?
I don't think I'd be evil for having the feeling. I do think I wouldn't be living righteously if I acted on that feeling.
Okay. But okay.
So again,
but
I'm not calling Jesus evil for doing this. I'm saying that I don't believe that this is acting righteously. I don't believe that this is living your life, living in forgiveness, as the previous caller said. I don't think it's living the life that he claimed Jesus was living.
I think that's just because it's the one time Jesus does something that's violent and stuff, so it kind of really stands out to people, right? But I think that just means it's important.
I wouldn't call it the only time he's done something violent. I mean, he fucking one time he killed a tree because the tree didn't have any fruit on it. He made it so that
that's actually a metaphor. He says it and he explains it. He says they may be, and he says why. This is why I speak to metaphors. They may be ever seeing but never perceiving, and ever hearing but never understanding. Otherwise, they might turn and be forgiven. So it's for people who actually look through the scripture to understand the metaphors. They will know what he's talking about.
What part is that in Jesus cursing the fig tree? What part is where Jesus says this is a metaphor? Explaining.
The reason he cursed the fig tree, though, was it's a metaphor for Israel, because he came back to Israel to redeem it. And
sure,
then
that doesn't mean that this isn't him again acting out of anger. He was hungry. He saw a tree. The tree had no fruit. He cursed the tree. The tree never bore fruit again.
Sorry. Can you say it again? I missed that.
He got mad that the tree didn't do something for him, so he cursed the tree. It's kind of fucked. It's not evil, but it's fucking kind of definitely not.
No, but if you understand,
act.
So basically, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna try not get in a whole tangent, but I will, because I feel like. Can I explain a bit of the metaphor?
Wait, hold on. You can explain the metaphor, but did Jesus curse a tree? Yes or no?
Just focus on the physical act.
Did he do that? Yes or no? If the you can come up with a metaphor for fucking anything after the fact, but he still did do this. He still got mad that a tree did not produce fruit, and he cursed the tree.
But it wasn't. He wasn't mad at the tree. Is what I'm trying to say. He was not angry with the tree. He was angry with what the tree was representing in that moment.
Crazy then to take it out on the tree.
So the tree. He's why he was angry with the tree.
But all you're saying is he's no better than these dudes that punch holes in drywall because they're Halo. They lose their fucking Call of Duty game. I'm not mad at the drywall. I'm just taking it out on the drywall. I'm mad at Call of Duty.
Sorry, I'm really, can I just explain the metaphor? Because I'm really trying not to but can I just wrap up this one point? And then, so it represents Israel, right? And he says throughout the thing, you will know things by their fruit, right? And he's asking it to bear fruit. That basically means, because he was supposed to be the Messiah of Israel, come back as king, redeem Israel. So they were supposed to provide the fruits of the Spirit, right? And they were supposed to have the fruits of the Spirit. And the tree represented that. The tree had no fruit because Israel was full of Pharisees and the people who were in the temple, right? Stealing the money from the poor people. Those kind of people is what they turned the religion basically into a money-making scheme and stuff like that. So then he, cursed the tree as a representation for, how, Israel died. But and also if you know actual history too, that the tree represents Israel, right? He curses the tree, but it's kind of a metaphor because about 20 years later, the Romans come and destroy all of Israel. So he was kind of just foreshadowing, not really taking his anger out on a tree. He was saying this is what's going to happen because you guys didn't repent.
Yeah. Where is any of this in the Bible?
Well, it's all through it. You would have to.
Wait. Because the story of Jesus cursing the fig tree, all it says is that he was hungry. He saw a fig tree by the road. He went up to it, found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Immediately the tree withered. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. "How did the fig tree wither so quickly?" they asked. He didn't respond to them. This is just a metaphor for Israel. He said, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to the fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, 'Go throw yourself into the sea,' and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer." This isn't a fucking metaphor for Israel.
No, but okay. So do you know how ancient Greece, right? They were represented many times by an olive tree. Israel had a tree too. It was a fig tree. And in the Old Testament, many times Israel is compared to a fig tree. So we can assume kind of like how we have state birds and stuff nowadays. That was the representation of Israel. It's kind of a metaphor. Was this tree stood for Israel? That's all I'm saying. And I think that makes sense. I don't know if you can find anything wrong.
I think it's just apologetics. I think you're trying to put meaning to a story whose only meaning is that if you pray hard enough, the things
meaning,
you want will come
true. So that you think, okay, so you think there's no meaning to that story?
No, I think the meaning is what Jesus. I think the meaning is what Jesus says to his followers. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. That's the message. He says the message. Imagine that's like watching an episode of fucking Barney, and Barney goes, "Remember, kids, sharing is caring," and you go, "Well, I guess Barney is really saying that Israel shouldn't have a two-state solution." Right? What?
Hey, no, I'm not even. No, sorry, and I'm really not trying to compare this. I don't conflate this with modern Israel. I want to stay away from that. I'm just talking about Israel. Judea got destroyed 20 years later. This is history. That is what happened. So that's all I'm saying. I'm really not trying to get into any of that. But no, my point is do you think so? Jesus does speak in metaphors a lot of times. Do you think he was telling actual stories or like?
I think when Jesus speaks in metaphor, it's a metaphor. I think when he clearly says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer, that's not a metaphor. That's quite literally him just telling you the message.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he does that. So yeah, that is true, I believe. But no one's actually going to believe hard enough for that. So it's kind of impossible. That was the whole point of why he could do anything, was because he was that goes back to the Trinity. He was God and man. So he did have full belief in himself because he knew, whereas us as humans, we probably won't ever be able to throw mountains in the ocean, like it says.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You believe God is not evil, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just ask you the same question I asked that other guy.
Sorry. Yes. Can we go back though before? I just want to go back to the money lenders one, because I feel like you're really standing using that, and I feel like we didn't even get to a conclusion on that.
I'm not. So again, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm using that story for. That story is not to indicate God is evil, like at all. I'm not using it for that.
Okay, what are you using it for then?
I've answered this already. To show that Jesus did not live as like a perfectly righteous man. Because I think claim he did. That what he did was righteous.
But I think that was. So that's what I'm saying. So, okay, if someone was to go into the government and do that and kick a lot of the politicians that are currently in government, would behave the exact same routine Jesus did in that story, would they be unrighteous there?
Probably. It depends on what their claim of righteousness is. Jesus's claim of righteousness is one of forgiveness. The way he did this was not an act of forgiveness. So do you have to never get
angry to be righteous?
If you're going to claim forgiveness is your thing, you kind of limit yourself on whether or not you can be angry.
Well, no, I don't think you understand what
you
righteous
100%
means then.
Wait, no. To live righteously would be different for every person. Right. What I view as righteous is not going to be what you view as righteous.
Not according to Christian doctrine, because it actually has a doctrine.
Jesus's view of righteousness was not Christian doctrine, right? Because Christianity didn't exist till after Jesus. Jesus's view of righteousness was like his forgiveness, turning the other cheek. That was his view of righteousness. Throwing a mantrum, flipping tables, destroying stuff is not turning the other cheek. Turning the other cheek would have been seeing them in the temple and going, okay, I'm gonna forgive them. I'm gonna turn the other cheek. I'm just gonna leave. I'm just not my horse, not my frog, not my pond, right? That specifically would have been turning the other cheek.
That would have been very unrighteous.
Turning the other cheek is not destroying all their property.
There are sins of omission. There are sins of omission where if you don't do anything, when you see something unrighteous happening and you allow it to happen, that is a sin.
Isn't Jesus
so
God?
Think of people in Nazi Germany who saw the Nazis happening. If they just turned the other cheek and went, I don't care, not my problem, that's a sin.
I'm sorry. We're saying that Jesus flipping the tables is like someone punching a Nazi?
No, well, I'm saying, yeah, I'm equating. Do you not think the money lenders were bad? That's what I'm trying to, where they were doing something wrong is my point. So like, I don't understand. He just got them out of the temple. They were in the wrong. Like that's what I'm saying. If someone like murders someone and then the cop,
I don't know, because all the Bible says, all the Bible says is that Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there.
Yes.
That's it. Just people buying
because
and
you
selling.
are not supposed to do that. Yes, it
Not
says
money.
several times in the Bible.
You said money lending, but it only says buying and selling.
Wait. Also, what verse are you reading? Because there is another book where it says, where he says it's a temple of God, but they turned it into a den of thieves.
Yeah. Yes.
He also calls.
That's the same. That's the same thing. This isn't him again. My house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that sums up. That's what I'm saying. So yeah.
That also isn't saying that they're money lending. It's just saying that they were buying and selling. They could just be buying and selling at high fucking prices that are highway robbery.
Exactly. Okay, well, I think there's different I think there is different translations because I'm pretty sure mine says, I don't know what I have. I might have a weird, but it says money lenders on mine. So I don't know. That's not BB. I did just throw that in. I definitely read that.
So were they buying and selling, as is in some translations, or were they money lending, as in money lending? As
it's going to be translated from Hebrew, so like just some of the words aren't 100%. So that's why you can't. I don't know. Some translations I would say are not great because they purposely had like people change stuff or whatever. I would say that's true. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a question now real quick.
Yeah.
If God showed himself to you and asked you to kill 1 million 3-year-olds, would you do it?
Okay. Dude. No, I wouldn't. This is the dumbest. Is this okay? Sorry. Can we just talk about this question real quick? Because is this how you win debates? Do people cheer for this? They think you're owning people when you say something like this?
Has God ever asked people to kill people before?
No, not Jesus. Okay, my whole thing too is I'm trying to find. You can't find. No. Sorry. Can I say my stance before you?
Sure.
Before you put words in my mouth?
If you answer the question, has God ever told people to kill people before?
Jesus never told anyone to kill anyone, and Jesus never killed anyone.
Great.
So
is Jesus
when you
God?
talk about Christian God, I'm talking about Jesus. I'm not talking
Jesus
about
God?
Because the Old Testament, that's a different time. So
is Jesus God?
I'm not even gonna, because you're just gonna. Sorry, what?
Is Jesus God?
Well, yeah, he's part of the Trinity.
Okay. Is God never changing?
Malachi
Malachi 3:6. I am the Lord and I do not change. Meaning that God's vindictive nature is not gone. So God could very easily ask us to kill again. Just because Jesus exists doesn't mean anything. He's never changing. So God wanting to kill people hasn't gone away because he does not change. But now we're claiming that the God of the New Testament and the God of the Old Testament are somehow different and want different things.
Covenant.
Even though God...
No, Jesus says there's a new covenant, though,
does
between
God
us
change?
and so it's never going to happen again.
But God never changes.
It's like... No, but he makes new covenants.
God
you can be a president and not
changes.
ever change as a personality, but make new deals with different people. It's like you can change your policies.
No, you can't. Not if you're never changing. You wouldn't change anything. You do not change. You are a constant. So the Bible says God does not change, but now we're saying God did change.
No, I didn't.
He went from a God of righteous.
Again, I'm saying there's a new covenant.
He went from a God of righteous. I'm sorry. God of the Old Testament was concerned with fear,
so the people changed. The people changed, so God provided a new covenant. That goes back to the whole fig tree thing, right? With Israel was his chosen people. They were supposed to be keeping the covenant. They broke the covenant. They turned into something corrupt. So then he came back to redeem the whole world this time and make a new covenant with all mankind.
So really quickly, the people did not change.
No. Well, yes, they did. Yeah, because they did. They used to keep the covenant, and then they didn't.
No, the people did not change. The people were just as bad as they were previously. They were still
Wait, what
doing
are you
all.
talking about?
They were still doing all the shit God didn't like them to do. He just forgave them.
Yeah.
That's not the people changing. Him forgiving them for doing all the same shit is not.
No. I'm not saying they changed good. No. I'm saying like he was keeping a covenant with Israel, right? But then he sent his son, right? And they crucified him. So basically, they broke the covenant. And even the thing in the temple they had where like they would keep the covenant, keep all their sacred ceremonies, the sacred like banner, cover, whatever was ripped, symbolizing like basically that was cut off, and now the new covenant.
Okay, so because the Romans killed God, because they killed God, now Old Testament is no more.
No, well, and also, okay, do you wonder what is the point of anything being written down if it never like changes? Do you understand like lineology?
I'm not asking about the rules of the Old. I'm not asking about the rules of the Old Testament changing. I'm asking about God's nature changing. God was vindictive. God was regretful.
His son did not come. Yes.
You said Jesus is God. They're not two different people.
Yeah, but they have things that make them separate.
So they are not the same person.
This is like we can argue about this, and it's just either you do a lot of reading and you like understand or you don't.
It just seems like
so I'm not going to try and.
It just seems like Christians do what they always do. When it's relevant to the argument, Jesus is his own person.
No, okay,
it's not
okay.
relevant
Let's
to the argument. Jesus and God are the same
Let's do the argument. I'll do it then. I just didn't want because this can go in circles and take forever, and I don't have time.
It goes in circles because it's contradictory. It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's why it goes in circles. In one vein, Jesus, God is vindictive. Well, but Jesus is forgiven. Well, are God and Jesus the same person? Yes. So you see, God is forgiving because if Jesus, okay. Well,
yeah, but
God also,
I'm forgiven and I'm vindictive.
God also did all of this. Well, but Jesus says this, but God is Jesus. No, Jesus is the Son of God.
So do you think God is a singular emotion?
I think that God does more harm than good. If we're reading,
do you think you are capable of comprehending God?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, I think the
argument you're not capable of understanding God is also a Christian cop out. It's a way for them to cop out of the debate.
I'm not trying to own you. I'm not trying to get this isn't a got you answer. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. I was just trying to understand your thought process on this.
God shows himself in the Old Testament to be vain. He shows himself to be selfish. He shows himself to be cruel. He shows himself to be unforgiving. He shows himself to be capital Evil. But all of a sudden, the New Testament comes around, and now God is different. He doesn't actually prescribe to any of these anymore. It's just weird because the Bible says that God never changes. So he's
okay. So is that your only?
So when I say, what if God showed up and asked you to do this? You say, well, God wouldn't ask me to do this because he's not like that, except he is like that and he never changes.
Okay, so is that why you don't believe in Christianity? Because you think you debunked it on that premise?
Well, I don't believe in Christianity because it's dumb. Has nothing to do with whether God is evil.
Have you read the Bible?
Yes, I literally was able to quote the scripture more than you were. You said, I don't know what my translation says, but I knew what mine said.
Yeah, because I don't have it in front of me.
So what the fuck do you mean?
Okay, yeah, you got me. I misremembered the quote. I didn't know we were doing a based on some quotes.
That's what you just did.
Wait,
hold on. Don't get butthurt about me asking you the same question you just asked me. What?
Sorry, what?
I said, don't get butthurt about me asking you the same shit you just asked me.
Wait, what did I just ask you?
Have I read the Bible? And I said, yeah, have you? And they got all butthurt about it.
Yeah, no, I didn't get butthurt. I just said, yeah, you got me, dude. I'm moving on. I'm just trying to move on. You're sticking. What?
Yeah, I don't know why you're.
So would I kill a million babies if God showed up? And then I'm not going to say, yes, I would kill a million babies. And then you're going to say owned. Or I'm going to say no. And then you go, haha, you don't believe in God.
Well, no, I think you can believe in God and go against him. Like, if God is real and he told me to kill 1 million babies, I would say no. I would say I'm not doing that. I don't care if God commands it.
So what
or
if
not.
every single girl? What if every single 6-year-old in the country has to all get gender reassigned at 6? Would you do it?
What? What question is that?
No. You asked me an ultimatum question. I'm going to ask you an ultimatum question. If every single 6-year-old in the country all said, "I want to get transgender reassignment surgery at the age of 6," would you do it?
I wouldn't do that if a 6-year-old asked me that
Okay,
now.
so you don't believe in that then?
Why would what?
So you don't
Homie,
believe in gender transition?
did you open the door to Stupid Town or something? Like, is that what just happened?
No, did you answer the question?
Relevance? I'm sorry, can you give me the symmetry breaker here on how this analogy comes anywhere close to what we've been talking about?
Because you're an atheist. You're an atheist, right? So
Sure
I'm
am.
trying to appeal to your ideological.
Do you think that ideologically we want 6-year-olds to have fucking surgeries? Are you stupid? Can you point me?
That's what I'm
I'm sorry.
wondering.
Here,
I'm
let me ask you
wondering,
another question. Maybe this is better. Can you point me to one 6-year-old that has had gender reassignment surgery? Who's the 6-year-old? I've never met them. Where
Okay,
are
let's
they?
go 15-year-olds then. Let's go 15-year-olds. Every single 15-year-old.
Yeah, if every single 15-year-old wanted surgery, I'd say it would be based on an individual basis, just like I do now.
But you would give every single one of them a surgery. if
Nope.
they all,
I
if
just
every
did.
single
Did I not just answer? Yo, am I in a Twilight Zone? Did I?
Oh
Just
no,
answer the
sorry. Okay, I
question?
misheard you. I
Holy
misheard
shit.
you. I misheard you. I understand what
It
you
would
said.
be
I thought you
based
said
on.
something.
It'd be based on individual
Yes,
need.
okay.
It'd be based on individual
Okay,
need.
I thought you said something else. I thought you said
doubt.
something else
I doubt.
individual.
Yeah, no, I doubt every single 15-year-old needs the surgery. It'd be based on individual need. I don't know what's not.
But what if I'm saying like every
Filtering.
single one was like, I believe I'm the other gender?
Doesn't matter. It's still based on individual need. That's how we do it
Okay,
now.
so you don't
There
fully
are some
believe
people.
that then?
What are you talking about? You don't know what I believe. This is what's weird. You're trying to get me in a gotcha.
You don't know what I believe either.
You're trying to get me in a gotcha,
You
but you
keep putting
don't.
words in my
No,
mouth.
I know what you believe. You believe God is real. That's all I need in this scenario to argue the points that I'm arguing.
Okay, yeah, I know you believe in gender transition, dude. That's all I need.
No, but you don't
To know
know
all I
what
need
gender
to know.
transition is.
No,
So
I
how
already know you, dude. I know how you are. I know who you are. I know how you act. You believe in gender transition.
I genuinely think the dumbness is seeping out of every pore in your body right now.
No, dude, I seriously think you're getting mad now.
Who's mad?
Okay.
Homie, we are laughing at you because this is stupid. Where is the anger?
I don't know.
This is the problem. You're saying, well, you believe 15-year-olds should all get surgery. So what if they all want surgeries? Except I don't believe all 15-year-olds should get surgery. So it doesn't work there. What I'm saying is,
you believe all 15-year-olds should get surgery.
No, I didn't. You don't even
thought you
fucking
just said
remember.
that.
You don't even remember the fucking answers to the question I gave you less than 5 minutes ago.
No, you literally just said that.
Nope, never did.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. I said I believe it should be based on individual need.
All right, fine.
And
If you're
not
gonna lie
all
about the
50.
argument, that's cool.
You want to bet? Do you want me to? I'll pull the tape back. Do you want me to pull the tape back? Because you
No,
will
pull
look
the tape
stupid
back.
here. Okay, great. I'll pull the tape back. Hold on. You are not going to look correct in this instance, friend. Really simple. This is why I record everything.
Just ask you.
Let's play
Have
back
I
the
read the
tape,
Bible?
chat. And I said, yeah, have you? And they got all butthurt about it.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Care if the 6-year-old asked me that.
Okay.
Stupid. Can you point me?
That's
Here we go.
what
This
I'm
is in the
wondering.
last
Let me ask you
2
another
minutes
question.
here. Maybe this is better. Can
So
you point me
no.
to one 6-year-old that has had gender reassignment surgery? Who's the 6-year-old? So if
I've
the
never
6-year-olds
met them.
shouldn't all get surgery.
Okay,
Where are
let's
they?
go 15-year-olds then. Let's go 15-year-olds. Every single 15-year-old.
Yeah, if every single 15-year-old wanted surgery, I'd say it would be based on an individual basis. Oh. Just like I do now. Damn. Did I say it'd be based on individual basis, just like I do now? Whoa, that's crazy. Oh my God.
Wait,
Who would have thought that that's not what I said, except everybody that's listening to the live right now?
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
Did you not hear me debunk you with your own words and my own words?
I can you play that part back again, actually?
Sure, I'll play it back a second time.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry.
wondering.
Here,
I'm
let me ask
wondering,
you another
well,
question. Maybe this is better. Can
So
you point me
no.
to one 6-year-old that has had gender reassignment surgery? Who's the 6-year-old? I've never met them. Where
Okay,
are
let's
they?
go 15-year-olds then. Let's go 15-year-olds. Every single 15-year-old.
Yeah, if every single 15-year-old wanted surgery, I'd say it would be based on an individual basis, just like I do now.
But you would
Oh,
give
that's crazy.
every single one of them a surgery. if
Nope.
they all,
I
if
just
every
did.
single
Did you
15
not? Did you? Damn! Did y'all hear me say nope? That's crazy. Let's keep listening. Did I not just answer? Yo, am I in a Twilight Zone? Did I?
Oh
just
no,
answer the
sorry. Okay, I
question?
misheard you.
Holy shit.
I misheard you. I understand what
It
you
would
said.
be
I thought you
based
said
on.
women.
It'd be based on individual
Yes.
need.
Okay.
It'd be based on individual
Okay.
need.
I thought you said women. I thought you said
doubt.
something else.
I doubt.
Individual.
Yeah, no,
Based
I doubt.
on individual need. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Is being wrong like your kink or something? Or
Sorry. What? Oh yeah, dude, I'm so wrong. Oh.
yeah, you said I said something that I didn't say. That would be you being wrong.
Yeah, but didn't you say
Can
all
you-
15-year-olds should get gender reassignment surgery?
Nope. We
Thank
just
you, Bill.
listened to the tape. You not being able to admit you're
Okay.
wrong is kind of odd. I don't know. Maybe you're just disingenuous to everybody you talk to.
Yeah, no. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm Jewish.
The fuck does that have to do with anything? Are you just crashing out
I
now
don't know,
because you were
honestly.
proven wrong? So you're crashing out? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I'm crashing out real hard, dude. I'm crashing out
Yeah,
so
I
hard.
mean, you were just anti-Semitic. I would assume that that's part of your crash
That's
out.
you would assume because I'm Jewish.
Well, yeah, you saying that you saying that I would assume, I being you would assume something
Yeah,
negative
but what
about
if I'm just a
myself.
self-deprecating Jew?
Jewish people
That
can
was
be
actually kind of
anti-Semitic.
racist. You just assumed.
Jewish people can be anti-Semitic, you stupid turd.
I'm half Jewish, but I'm not allowed to make Jewish jokes. Like, come on.
Oh, so it's almost like Jewish people can be anti-Semitic, you anti-Semitic turd.
But that's not
Who would-
anti-Semitic.
who would've
That's just
guessed?
literally me making
Yes,
it. That's
me
a joke.
going.
That doesn't
me
mean I
going,
believe that. You know
going,
what a joke is.
You going. This negative trait about myself must be because I'm Jewish. Definitely not an anti-Semitic thing to say. What's
Yeah,
the
but
joke?
is it funny?
What's
Did it
the
make you
joke?
giggle a
No,
little bit?
It literally made nobody laugh. What's the joke? What's the punchline?
The joke is that Jews are untrustworthy and unruly.
That's a joke?
I mean, you don't act like you don't get the joke. It's just a joke, dude. But
I'm
it's
sorry.
not
I'm
serious.
just trying to
I don't
confirm.
seriously think that.
Is that a joke to somebody? Who's that a joke to besides
Yes,
like
that
Nazis?
is. Yes, the guys I work with. Yes, if
To
you work in a
guys you
blue-collar
work with.
industry, yes, that is a joke, dude.
It's so,
You've
like,
probably
to
never
Nazis?
worked a manual labor job, so you don't understand how racism can be a joke. But yes, it's a joke.
It's a joke because a bunch of people told you that Jewish people are untrustworthy.
No, because
So
a
it's a
bunch of
joke.
people at work, they all say racist shit to each other, and it's funny. That's how work works. When
it
you're at a
funny?
blue-collar job, it's miserable there. So you
If
kind
it's
of just
funny,
try
why
and make
didn't-
each other laugh
I'm just
by
wondering
saying
if it's
fucked up shit.
funny. Why did nobody laugh at it? I
Because
would
you guys
assume
are
a
all liberals. I
joke-
don't know.
I'm
Because
I'm
you guys
assuming a
are,
joke
I
would
don't
have
know.
a
I guess
laugh.
none of you. Everyone in his chat, raise your hand if you ever had a manual labor job. Walmart and grocery bagger doesn't count. I'm talking construction or yard care. No, no one. No one's had it. I know. You know how
I'm
I
sorry,
know? Because if you guys had,
just
you
really
wouldn't
quickly-
believe this shit.
Just really quickly, I've helped build houses before. I've never once had somebody say something racist to me.
Yeah,
about just
sure,
building a
dude.
house.
You didn't build shit.
No,
You
yeah,
were
I've-
full of
I've
shit.
Quite literally helped with Habitat for Humanity.
You're telling me
multiple
you
times.
built a house.
I've quite literally helped with Habitat for Humanity multiple times.
Oh
just-
my gosh.
I'm just
yeah,
wondering.
no,
I never
dude,
heard something racist. So I'm just wondering.
I fucking built construction sites. I built skyscrapers. I'm talking about Houston, dude. I work with fucking black guys and Mexicans and shit. I don't even say that. I get called honky on the reg.
So
I don't
so a
even say that
bunch
shit.
of-
They say to each other. I'm just trying to explain to you. Are you saying that racism in the blue-collar industry as
So I'm just-
industry
I'm
as a
just
joke
confirming.
doesn't exist? Because I'm just telling you it's a thing. I'm not even
I didn't
stating an
know
opinion.
racism was funny.
I'm telling you it exists.
Yeah, I didn't know racism became funny all of a sudden.
I'm
Can you
not
tell me what the
making a
joke is?
comment about it. I'm saying it exists, dude.
Yeah, what's the
Are you
what's the
saying it
punch-
doesn't exist?
What's the
I'm saying
punchline
people
of the
say
joke?
racist shit, and everyone on the job site laughs. I don't control whether or not they laugh.
Yeah, but you said it. This isn't the job site, right? You said the
Yes.
anti-Semitic thing. So what's the joke?
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude, it's directed at myself.
Yeah, what's the joke?
I explained it.
Okay, you're saying because you're
That's
Jewish,
empowering.
you're not because you're Jewish, you're not trustworthy.
Yeah, but now, okay, when you explain a joke, it's not. You're trying. Is this really? You're trying to debate me on a joke? This is
When I
so
explain
boring.
a
dude.
joke, it's not
Like, are people
funny?
listening to you debate people on a joke? I was supposed to say this, and we were supposed to move on, and you're still caught up on it. It's a
You
fucking
wanted to
joke.
move
This
on
is why liberals
from-
lose, because you guys
wanted to
don't
move
even
on
know what
from
to argue about.
anti-Semitism?
Sorry, what?
You wanted to move on from being anti-Semitic. You just wanted to like say it and then move past.
Okay, so I'm anti-Semitic. Okay, me as a Jew, I'm anti-Semitic. Now can we
Yes,
move on?
Jewish people
Oh
can
yeah,
be
you caught me,
anti-Semitic,
dude.
yes.
You caught me. I secretly want to
I'm
get
sorry.
gas.
Do you think, just real quick, do you think anti-Semitism just means Jewish?
No, I think it means you hate Jewish people, but you saying like me hating myself is a bad thing, like that's just kind of weird. That's like getting mad at a guy for being schizophrenic. It's just like it's his shit, dude.
What is the
Like,
Semitic part?
that?
What is the Semitic part of anti-Semitism?
It just means Semitic people like Muslims,
Okay. So
Jewish
it doesn't
people,
mean. So it
and then
doesn't
there's one
just
other one. I
mean-
don't remember though.
So it doesn't just mean hating Jewish people then.
Yes, but that's what it's used to refer to. Common.
when you pointed at
because
Jewish
we have
people,
separate words.
yes.
We have Islamophobia. If I was talking about that, I would have said Islamophobia, right? We already have a word for that. So that's why you say anti-Semitic, because
So
it's
what was the
simpler
joke?
than saying I hate than saying like what?
So I'm still confused what the punchline of the joke was.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is funny.
Is it? What's the punchline of this joke?
This your whole show? Is this what you do all day?
Well, let's just walk through what happened here.
Is this how you spend
You
like
came
20
here-
you sit here? How long a day do you sit in that chair?
Let's just walk ourselves through what happened here. You came in to
Yeah.
argue a point.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
got cooked on that point, you then made a claim that I was saying something I didn't. When I,
I was
then proved
cooked.
that
Yeah, you
when I
got
then
me. I was
proved
cooked.
yeah, and then when I then proved that I did say what I said,
You proved.
you decided to
How
be
much time do you spend on Reddit?
What does that have to do with anything?
What?
Are you okay? Are you crashing out?
Yeah, I'm crashing out.
I mean, it's fine. I nervously laugh when I don't have anything to like.
Yeah, no, I'm real
substantiate
nervous.
myself.
I'm real nervous.
It was very clearly nerves. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm scared of you, dude. You're
I
so
didn't say you were
scary.
scared.
You're gonna debate me so hard.
Nervous laughter doesn't have to be from fear. Do you think fear is the?
Oh
only thing
man,
that
I'm
causes
such a dumb
nerves?
Christian. Oh my gosh, this atheist is owning me, guys.
Wait, I thought you were
Someone clip
Jewish.
this chat. Chat,
Wait,
clip
wait,
this. He's
I'm
owning
sorry.
the Christians.
I'm sorry. I thought you were Jewish.
No, but I'm a Christian. I'm half Jewish, dude. That's pretty. That doesn't mean I follow like Judaism.
Okay, so you're saying you're ethnically Jewish, but religiously you're Christian.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jews have free will. They don't have. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. And so
Yeah.
this means you can make anti-Semitic remarks about your Jewish half.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the thing is because no one's gonna think I'm gonna like okay. Can I just explain to you? So me being if I was say I hate Jewish people, right? Do you think anyone should be in fear of me going out and trying to commit a hate crime against Jewish people? No, because that doesn't even like make any sense. I would just kill myself then, right? Like that's what I'm saying. So like you getting mad about this is just kind of
Do you think
weird.
there haven't been
It's just
people
weird.
who've
It's a weird.
I'm sorry. Do you think there haven't been people who've self-hated and then unalive people? And
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. That's my point. Is it doesn't make any sense what you're saying.
You're saying that nobody has self-hated and then killed people within their same groups because they disliked themselves in that group.
If you can name me an example, honestly, I don't know. Maybe, but honestly, I don't know. I don't look for that. So
okay, so
probably,
you claimed it never happened, but it might happen. You just were making.
No,
a
I didn't
claim
claim
off
it never happened. No, I just said I don't like. I said it doesn't make any sense. I said it doesn't make any sense worrying about me from saying one statement, thinking I'm going to become a terrorist against my own people. Right? That's very, 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 very unlikely.
So anti-Semitism is only bad if you couple it with like a hate crime. As long as you're not committing a hate crime, it's not bad.
No, it's not even anti-Semitism though, dude. If you're Jewish, like that's okay. Have you ever watched a black comedian? They make fun of themselves, right? Have you watched Jerry Seinfeld? Makes fun of himself for being Jewish. Is he anti-Semite? Is Jerry Seinfeld an anti-Semite?
Give me a joke, a black comedian's joke
against black people. Go ahead. What would the joke be in comparison? Because there's a
I don't know,
difference.
dude. Watch
There's a
Cat
difference
Williams
between
or
you
something.
saying, because I'm Jewish, I'm not trustworthy, and a black person saying,
Oh,
we
Kevin
got
Hart
the
said
hot
black
comb.
people are too poor, they can't afford socks. They have to put their shoes and socks in one and call them shocks. That's one.
Yeah, I'd say
There
that's a
you go.
bad joke.
Yeah, it's not a great joke. It's just one that I remember.
I'd say it's an
I don't know
anti-black
why it
joke.
stuck with me.
Kevin Hart
Yeah,
made an anti-black
calling
joke.
black people poor. But it was Kevin Hart who said it. That's my point. Does
Yeah,
Kevin Hart
black
hate
people
black
can be anti-black. Yes, just like Jewish people
Yeah,
can
but
be
Kevin,
anti-Semitic.
JDom05 donated $20.
Does
Bleed
Kevin
him.
Hart hate black people? That's what I'm asking specifically.
Wait, I didn't say you hated Jewish people. I said you were being anti-Semitic. Those are two different things.
But okay, then what does it even matter? Saying I'm being anti-Semitic. What does it even matter though?
Because maybe I have Jewish people listening to my stream who don't want to hear people be anti-Semitic. I don't know. There's a couple hundred.
Yeah, but I
people
wouldn't
in
say
here.
anything against
There's
them. I
almost
wouldn't say
1,000
anything against
people
them
in
because
here.
that's against them, and
But
then they're
you
going to get upset.
did.
That's just I have no reason
But
to
you
do
did
that.
technically
right?
say something against them. When you say
No, I don't.
because
No,
I exist,
that's
yes
my
you
point.
did.
Is it's a joke?
Yes, you
I
did.
don't have something against
No,
them, dude.
wait.
It's something
Again,
I hear.
hold on. I didn't say you had something against them. I said you said something against them. When you say
Oh,
because I
sorry,
am part of
my bad.
X
I thought you
group,
said had something against them.
when you
That
said
pissed me
because
off.
I am part of X group, I must be untrustworthy. This is also
Yeah,
making the
that's a
claim
joke.
that anyone listening to this stream who's a part of X group would also be untrustworthy because they are also
but
part
no,
of X group.
No, yes. That is what the statement means. That
Yep.
is what the statement means. That
So
is
you're not
what
just
it's word
making a
for
joke
word.
against yourself. You're making a joke against everybody that's in that community or a part of that
Yes,
group.
if you take it that way.
How
if that's
other
how
way?
you take
How
it,
other way would you
if
take?
You take it,
how other would you take? I'm Jewish, so I must be untrustworthy. Except that being
I can
Jewish
tell you. Can I tell
means
you?
you're untrustworthy.
Can I tell you? This guy, that's funny. He's sarcastic because you said it. You just said I'm untrustworthy, right? So I was saying,
No,
it must be
you
because
said
I'm
you're
Jewish.
untrustworthy.
It's just a joke because people say Jews are untrustworthy, right? So,
No,
but do you think
you're
I'm
saying
actually saying?
You're
Do you
saying
think
Jews
I'm?
are
Because
untrustworthy.
I don't even think I'm untrustworthy. So that's my point. Is your statement makes no sense on anything? Is it's obviously
You
sarcasm?
brought up
It's
untrustworthy.
so weird this argument right
You
now.
brought up
This is the
untrustworthy.
weirdest thing I've been involved in ever.
You brought up untrustworthy.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's okay. What did you call me? Why did I don't remember why I said the joke.
I said
Sorry,
you were
it was like a long time ago.
disingenuous.
But because that's the joke. You asked me to explain the joke, and I said, well, the stereotype is that Jews are untrustworthy. Is that not a stereotype?
So you
That's all I'm saying.
called yourself
That's a
untrustworthy.
stereotype, correct?
You said
Yes.
it must be because I'm disingenuous. It must be because I'm Jewish.
Disingenuous. That's the word. That was it. Yeah.
So you said you're disingenuous because you're Jewish, implying that Jewish people are disingenuous. When I asked you to explain the joke, you said, well, it's because Jewish people are untrustworthy.
Yeah. Okay, but those are like the same fucking. You know what I mean?
Well,
Same
disingenuous
thing.
does not mean untrustworthy. It just means disingenuous. I don't know why you're
Yes,
backtracking.
but
like, just own up. Just say, yeah, I made an anti-Semitic
if you were
joke. Like, I don't know
talking-
why
if
you
you were
need
talking to a white supremacist, if you were talking to a white supremacist, they would say Jews are untrustworthy and very disingenuous because they think everything that comes out of Jews' mouth is a lie. So would you say that's disingenuous? That's the stereotype. I can go deeper. I don't want to talk about people hating Jewish people, but if you want me to explain the stereotype, the root of the stereotype basically is that Jews always lie. That's like.
So what happened is you made
would
an
be
anti-Semitic
disingenuous and
joke.
untrustworthy.
You made an anti-Semitic joke. So what happened was you made an anti-Semitic joke, and
Yes.
now instead
Yes,
of
and
just
now we're still
owning
arguing
it,
about this.
now
It's so
instead of
weird.
just owning it and saying, "Yeah, I made an anti-Semitic joke," it was anti-Semitic. Yeah,
No, I did
100%
own
I
it.
did that.
I said, yeah, I made a joke against Jews, but I'm Jewish. It's
No,
against myself,
no,
though. I
you
wasn't
didn't
talking
own it
about
because
your audience.
every time you
I
didn't
don't
own
care
it.
about your audience. I don't even
You
know
didn't
them.
own
I'm
it
talking about
because
myself,
every time I've
obviously.
said it's anti-Semitic, you said no, it
If
isn't.
they
So you haven't
took-
actually
if some
owned
of your
anything.
audience members took offense to that, they have main character syndrome. Because I didn't even know
I just
they
think
existed.
I just think it's interesting to claim you took ownership of something when you didn't.
Thank you, Boo.
Okay, well, fine. I'll take ownership. Did I not say it was
Okay,
anti-Semitic and to
There
the
you go.
extent that
Thank
it
you.
was
That's,
like
that's
a
all I needed. That's
sarcastic
all I. Nope. See, that's
sarcasm, though.
nope. See, that's pushing it off again.
Okay, so are you trying? But I'm trying to understand. Are you calling? Because if you're calling me an anti-Semite, I'm not owning it.
No,
You're,
I said
like,
you
labeling
did
me with
something
That's why I'm getting
anti-Semitic.
upset. Are you labeling me with
Do you
that?
disagree that you did something anti-Semitic?
I don't think it hurt the Jewish community. What I did.
It's
That's
not
what
what
I'm
I
trying to
asked.
say.
I didn't ask if it hurt the Jewish community. I asked if it was anti-Semitic. Some white dude in
Well,
his
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by anti-Semitic. Honestly,
fucking,
can you go into deeper? Because I'm trying to understand what you mean by that.
Anti-Semitic. What you made was a joke that was disparaging against Jewish people, because you insinuated that you being untrustworthy or disingenuous had to do with you being Jewish. Just because you made it in a vacuum and it might not affect the broader community doesn't make it not anti-Semitic. If a white dude in his living room says, "I hate black people because they're black," this didn't harm the black community at large, but it was still a racist action.
But dude, do you understand that telling someone, go admit you said something anti-Semitic? Do you understand that that's like you're kind of trying to like push me into a thing of like label me as a bad guy because you're trying to link me with something bad.
What you're doing right now is called Darvo. That's what you're doing. You're doing all 5 stages of Darvo. You denied doing the wrongness in the beginning. You denied that. After you denied doing the wrongness, you decided to attack me and was like, "Oh, so you don't understand this? So no, you're actually the problem because you've done this, blah, blah, blah." Now you're doing reverse victim and offender. You're saying, well, actually, you calling me this, you saying that what I did was anti-Semitic is actually labeling me something. So that's the problem.
Are you doing a Jewish voice? No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. I'm joking.
If we can't be mature here, there's no point in doing this, right? People that are disingenuous like that are going to be disingenuous. Anyway, big shout out to, I think it was Jade. Big shout out to Jade for that one. And Flying Leech for the $5 Venmo. Thank you so much. I'd like to know what a Jewish voice is. Anybody want to tell me? All I did was my own voice. Anyway. Kyle from South Park maybe is crazy. Yeah, if you guys want to defend his joke, defend the joke. Tell me what's funny about the joke. YouTube, don't be pussy. Say what's funny about the joke. It was $25, case please. Go ahead. I'd love to hear what the joke was. How would you even have known if he was Jewish in the first place? He's the one who said who made the anti-Semitic comment and then said, "Well, I'm Jewish, so obviously." Doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Hello, are you here to debate?
That's correct. No shot. Did it actually finally work? I was about to leave too. Wow.
Okay. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Ken, 27. What do I sound like?
A woman.
Great. Well, you're wrong. And
well, then what are your pronouns?
I'm not gonna give you anything other than what you know I sound like, because I'm here to.
Personally, I think you sound like a
and if I'm
65-year-old
here to
woman.
debate and I play into your game of asking for pronouns, then I'm presupposing from the outset.
Yawn. Next caller. Y'all, I asked the same 3 questions to everybody. If you're gonna crash out over it, bye. I don't know what to tell you. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Oh, my name's Brando.
It's what?
Brando.
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 Okay, Brando. What's your age and pronouns?
I'm 30 something, almost 40. We'll just say late 40s.
And your pronouns?
What is that?
What are pronouns?
Yes. I want to be educated today.
You don't know what pronouns are, sir?
We I think English language, yes, pronoun, you know.
So then you do know what a pronoun is.
I think.
Then what is it?
Please tell me.
Sorry, I don't have the mental bandwidth to teach people things they should have learned in like.
Well, I believe I'm a he, as far as I'm, a he or him, right?
There you go.
That'd be a pronoun. Pronoun.
So you did know.
He, him, his.
Cool. What are you here to talk about?
Whatever you want to talk about, buddy. I was just watching your show. I see the last guy there. He was kind of a little off his rocker. So.
Okay, just really quickly.
Pick up
you called me, so I would assume you called me.
Yeah, he was talking about some jokes and.
Did you call me? Yes or no?
I'm sorry. What?
Did you call me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Then
of course,
you would be the person.
I was excited to call you.
So then, what do you want to talk about?
Well, we pick up where last guy left off. Jokes. We go back to any one of the topics that you got going on there on your board. But to say jokes. People should just leave jokes for themselves. A lot of people do jokes obviously to heal from things. There's even cancer people that do jokes, but you don't see me going around telling cancer people jokes. It's kind of their
your accent
thing.
Is disappearing.
I'm sorry, what?
Your accent is disappearing.
It disappears?
Well, it just did.
Goes in and out?
Well, no, it just fully disappeared.
Oh. Well.
Did you forget where you were from all of a sudden?
I don't know. We all do sometimes.
Do we?
I don't know. Do you know where you're from? Only place I know I was from was from my mama.
I know.
That's
you lost the accent again on mama. Is there a reason for that?
Is there what?
Is there a reason you lost the accent when you said mama?
I don't know. My mama could have been from the South. Maybe not. I don't know. You just travel around the world and the culture,
I'm bored.
And you pick.
I'm hungry. Yeah. Oh God, I've been live for 3 hours. What the fuck? Let's do one more. Hello, you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Toby, 29, he, him.
Okay, Toby, what are you here to debate about?
Got a couple things on there I'd like to talk about.
Yeah.
One of them is
You got to turn the stream off behind you.
trans men. Yeah, I am. Trans men, women, are men and women. And then I would also like to talk about the Christian God being evil.
All right, start with the first one. What's up?
Well, I don't believe that to be the case. I think you are pretty much what you're born as.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, has there ever been somebody who's been born a woman? Think really carefully before you answer that question.
No.
Okay. So then, like, we aren't what we're born as. Because nobody's born a woman, they become women, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But what I mean is, I don't think you can just, be born a male and grow up and be a woman.
Sure. Why can males not be women?
Because they're males.
Thank you, Boo.
That's just restating the question.
So they would grow up to be a man.
Wait, all you just gave me was a circular answer? Why?
You said, why can't
why
they?
do males only grow up to be men?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Why do males only grow up to be men?
It's in their DNA.
It's in their DNA. What DNA specifically? Like, which part of their DNA? Like, what is it about their DNA that makes them men?
I don't know the specifics in it.
Okay, you don't know the specifics on it?
No.
Okay. If I were to tell you nothing, what would you say?
You're saying nothing in their DNA makes them a man?
I'm saying human DNA and human sexual development are kind of two slightly different things. But, like, yeah, I would be saying that there isn't, like, a specific thing in your DNA that makes you a man or a woman, yeah.
Okay, so then I guess you would have to go, what are the other one? Chromosomes?
Okay. So chromosomes are what make you men and women. Let me ask you a question.
That's what it is.
Is it necessary to have specific chromosomes to be either a man or a woman? Like, is that something that is necessary for that? Yes?
I don't know if I would say necessary, no.
Okay. If it's not necessary, then why can't trans women be women if it's not necessary for them to have the chromosomes to be?
I mean, it has a lot to do with it. I just don't know if we're talking, like, necessary.
Okay, well, let me just walk you through this. When we have category distinctions, so for instance, when we say somebody is a woman, woman would be a category, and we'd say that there are people that cannot fit into this category. In your belief, it would be men and it would be trans women. That would mean that there is an exclusionary trait. There's a trait that all women possess and no men possess and no trans women possess. If that's the case, what is that trait?
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time. Let me get my other earbud so I can hear a little bit better.
Yeah, sure. Just let me know when you want me to repeat it.
Yeah, go ahead. It connected.
Yep. If there's a category, and in this instance, we're saying that the category is woman, that category, if we're saying that category can't be, what's the word I'm looking for? If we're saying that category has people that are excluded from that category, in this instance, it would be men and it would be trans women. That means we're saying that there is a trait that is possessed by all women that no men possess and no trans women possess. So I'm just asking you what that trait would be.
I don't really have a good answer for that.
Okay. Well, unless you can come up with that trait, you can't bar people from the category. Because there's nothing to bar them. There is no trait that they need that they don't possess.
That's like asking, like, when does a child become an adult? What are the necessary conditions?
I don't think there's necessarily necessary conditions in that. It would be like sufficient conditions. right? So for instance, somebody who's, hold on, I'm just going to answer this. Somebody who's 18, right? I'd say they've met a sufficient condition to be an adult, right? Legally, at least. But like if somebody's 17 and emancipated, right? Then they've also met a legal sufficient condition to be an adult, right? We're just talking like a social construct here, which would be the social construct is typically 18. Some cultures it's different. Some cultures they put adulthood at 16. I think 18 is a good age. I'd probably up it to like 21 maybe. I think 18 is a good age, but all I'm saying is that like these would be sufficient conditions, not necessary conditions.
But I think that's kind of the same thing for the trans men and women though.
Oh, great.
Like it's really hard to just like pick like the things because the conditions that make you a male and female, you know, it's like there's a lot. It's very, very complex because like when you get into chromosomes, you know, there's XX, which is your typical female, then there's XY, which is your typical male, right? And that's with no like mutations, deformities, whatever. You know, those would be like your almost your standard for what you would just.
No, I'm totally down with you. I would say there are also sufficient conditions, but sufficient conditions can't bar someone from a category. It can only allow somebody into said category, right? But it can't be.
But why is it that? Like, okay, so if you took like socially, the social construct out of it, you're left with male or female, right?
If you take the social,
you don't have like the gender. You don't have the gender anymore.
Well,
you just have male
gender
or
can
female.
only exist with the social because gender is like a neurosocial concept. But if you want to say like if you want to just say like, well, what is just sex? Then yeah, we could just talk about sex. But I wouldn't make the claim that like trans women are necessarily genetically female. I'd say they might be phenotypically female, but I don't know that I wouldn't make the claim that trans women are like genotypically female, like based on like their genotypic sex. So I don't know what we would be arguing at that point.
So genotypically is what their chromosomes say. And what do you say? What was the other one?
Yep. Genotypic would be chromosomes. Phenotypic would just be the primary and secondary sex characteristics. So like the physical representation of your sex, that would be phenotypic. And phenotypic, at least in neurobiology and neuroscience, is just viewed as like a modifiable trait. So you typically can change your phenotypic traits. You can't change your genotypic sexual makeup.
And how do you change the phenotypical?
Tons of ways. Surgery, drugs, sometimes just like letting your hair grow would be a way to change phenotypic traits. Phenotypic is just changing the physical,
the outward appearance kind of deal.
Yeah, that's an easy way to understand it. Yeah.
Okay. But so if somebody changes an outward appearance, how does that? Why I don't understand. How does that? Just because like an outward appearance, why does that want to make them? Say if it was a male, now they want to be female.
Well, so
because that's what they align with.
So typically, it's just about making their phenotypic traits match what is typically viewed in any given society to the gender expression. So, for instance, we have had men and women as categories in our society for a long time, right? So there are typical traits. You could even call some of these stereotypical if you want, but there are typical traits that are given and placed in society amongst men and women. So oftentimes, some of these would be women have more prominent breasts than men. Women might be shorter in stature. Women might have more a softer jawline. There's a whole women's voices might be different. There's a whole litany of things that are typical based on gender expression. And so what trans people tend to want, or at least this is, based on what they've told me and the research I've done. Obviously, I'm not trans, so I'm not going to make 100% claim for my trans friends and my trans brothers and sisters. But typically, it's about matching that phenotypic expression to your gender identity via the typical traits that exist between men and between women. Some of this might even be just getting rid of the typical traits that might be associated with men. Not even that you want the traits associated with women, you just want to get rid of the traits associated with men. So this could be like facial feminization surgery because, again, a more square, prominent jaw might be seen as more masculine. So they want to get rid of this. Or this might be the voice training because a deeper voice is going to be perceived culturally as masculine, and so they want to remove these cultural traits so society can so that for two reasons. One, so that they can feel better about their gender identity themselves because these cultural traits have just been ingrained into us since we were like kids, and two, so that people people perceive them in a way that is in accordance with their gender identity.
Okay. I was trying to think of a way how to articulate my next question. So you do believe that there's like differences between like a trans, I don't want to butcher this because I kind of messed it up a little bit. Trans men versus, I don't want to say it's going to sound disrespectful because I was almost going to say like real men. I don't want to say it like that because I don't want to.
So you want to use the
people.
word. You want to use the word cisgender. Cisgender is the opposite of transgender. So, like, are there differences between trans men and cis men? Yes, 100%.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
Obviously, they have different life experiences. They're going to have different challenges in the future. They're going to have different things that they go through. But I would just say that there's differences between every This is why intersectionality, if you know what that is, intersectionality is so important, right? Because somebody's identity as a man is only a part of who they are. They might be trans, they might be cis, they might be black, they might be white, they might be tall, they might be short, they might be Christian, they might be atheist, right? There's a million other things that are going to change the experiences that they have as a man and make that different from the experiences some other people might have as a man. For instance, I'm a black man, but I might have a lot more in common than like my white neighbor who's a white man than like a black man in like Somalia. We just probably have me and him probably have way more similar life experiences than me and like a black man in like a country I've never been to or never lived. You know?
Right.
That's why we focus on intersectionality. We look at the intersections of all of the different identities that we have and how they cross with each other and interconnect and splice and all that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of really falling off of when it comes to like, okay, so just because you present like a certain appearance, that you think that you are that thing, even though like everything in your body kind of, or your chromosomes tell you otherwise.
The part that you're missing is that your sex can't tell you what your gender is. It can give you an inkling.
Because it's a social construct.
But yeah, gender is neurosocial. Gender exists in the brain and it exists in society. So like, do you know what is it epistemology? Is that what I'm thinking of? But do you know, like, as humans, the social things that happen to us throughout like our evolution as people can literally rewire our brains as a species. Like our brains will literally rewire themselves because of things that collectively happen as a society. And over time, those things add up. So when I say gender is like neurosocial, I mean gender has its roots in society and its social construction, but it also has taken root in our brains. Like our brains just naturally categorize things, and gender is one of those categories. We just naturally do this, right? We see pink and we naturally go girl. We see blue and we naturally go boy. Now, this is due to a lot of things, mostly social conditioning, but that social conditioning has just wired our brains to do this. So when we talk about epigenetics, I was thinking of epigenetics, Chad, not epistemology. I was thinking about epigenetics. So when we're talking about gender, right? Gender is two things, and I like to describe gender as two things. I like to describe gender in the social and gender in the identity. So social gender, okay. I really think we should just call it social gender at this point, would be the behaviors, the traits, the actions, whatever you want to call it, that we typically prescribe, the behaviors, traits, appearances even, that we typically prescribe to the sexes. So we say, hey, dresses are for girls. This would be social gender. Or we can even say gender expression is probably a better one to use. But this is socially gender in the social. Hey, this is dresses are for girls. Gender in the social. Hey, women are typically lighthearted. Women are this isn't true, but when someone goes like, well, women are nurturers, right? Gender in the social. This would be gender in the social. When we talk about gender as in the identity, it's referring to the way your brain subjectively perceives your sex. So your brain, without you even thinking about it, subconsciously, it looks at your sex and how your sex is oriented in your body, and it says this is either correct or this is incorrect. So when your sex is oriented in your body with your gender identity, you have people like me and you, we're cisgender men, right? I don't have to think about being a man. My brain just knows I'm a man. There's nothing I have to do. My brain it's just there. Like when someone says, Jovan, why are you a man? I'm like, oh, I just am, right? But then you have people who are trans, right? Their brains tell them something else. Their brains, when they think about who they are in relation to their gender, they might not even think they're a woman. They might even have the words to explain this, because a lot of times they don't. They just know that they are not a man. They know when man hits, something isn't clicking here, right? It could be that they're non-binary. It could be that they're trans women. It could be a litany of things, but they know that they're not men because their gender identity, their subjective perception of how that sex is oriented is differing from what their sex was perceived at birth. So like their sex perceived as male, but because we live in a society where males and men are synonymous, we've placed those expectations on our expectations. We've placed those societal traits on males. Their body sees male and they go, this doesn't feel right. Something's off here about that maleness. Again, could be a litany of things, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're women, but it means that this is the track that we have to start following when we're looking at their gender in the identity. So that's why I say gender is a neurosocial concept. The identity is the neuro, the expressions and the stuff, that's the social. That was a long explanation, but you know.
It was. I think I captured most of it. I'm not like, I don't dive too deep into a lot of the stuff that you said. But like I said, I think I captured quite a bit of it. I do still have some objections with some of it. But I have a question though.
Sure. And
I guess you can decide not to answer it if you want. I'm just curious of how you would respond to it.
Okay.
Because you said you were cisgendered man.
Uh-huh.
And if these people, really believe that they are who they are, so they would consider themselves like a real female. I'm just curious, like say if that was true, would you get into a physical relationship with a trans woman?
Is she thick?
Whatever, you can put whatever features on this imaginary person that you want.
If she's thick, the answer is yes.
If she's okay.
My barometer for women, what I'm attracted to,
what
I'm attracted to in women is thick. If she's thick with 2 C's, if she's thick, then yeah, why not? What do I care? I have a genital preference typically. Like typically, I'm not really like penises don't attract me. Like I see a penis and I'm just like, that doesn't do it for me. But like, not all trans
and that was
women
actually
have
going to be my next question. If they were, what is it? Okay, it's called pre-op, right? That's pre-operation?
I don't like
so
using the phrase pre-op.
They didn't have any.
So hold on, just really quickly. I don't like using the phrase pre-op because it implies that everybody wants to get the operation. So I don't like saying that. Some people might. Non-op is a good one, Lainey. Thank you in the chat. Non-op, pre-op just implies that every trans woman has to get the operation, and I don't think they do. But yeah, if somebody is thick and she's attractive and she has a vagina, yeah, why wouldn't I? If she's thick and if she's thick enough, I can't say that I would turn away. If she's thick enough, it depends. I don't know. I haven't been put in this situation to find out. We'll find out one day.
Okay.
Maybe.
I guess for the example, what you guys said, I think you said no-op would be the correct term. So would you get in a relationship with trans woman no-op?
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on if I like them enough.
Okay. I respect your answer. I respect your answer.
Like I can't make that determination unless that, I mean, I don't think that situation's ever going to unfold, but if it ever does, like, here's the thing. I think we need to start looking at sex differently, at sex as in like sexual preference differently in society anyway, because when we're talking about our immediate attraction to someone, it's very rare that immediate attraction has anything to do with genitals. Not unless I'm watching like, I'm on somebody's like OF or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Typically, what you're attracted to is a lot of other different, like we talked about, societal gender traits, right? Like me, typically, right? I'm attracted to like, I want to, like, if she looked like she got BBL, we about that. You know what I mean? Like, typically, like, those are the like, and if we want to even go beyond that, like, typically, like, the first thing I notice about somebody tends to be your nose. Like, nose is, for some reason, that's like the first thing I notice about a person. For some people, it's eyes. For some people, it's a smile. You might notice hair. Like, there's a whole list of things that we as people, it's like a spider web, and it's like constantly connecting when we're looking at other people and we're trying to determine attraction, right? It's just a big long list of things. So I don't like to say that like right now I'm not attracted to penises. I've not yet met a penis that's made me go, that's the one. So I have a genital preference, but I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a 100% reality and I'll never find a penis I'm not attracted to if it's on a feminine enough body, right? I assume right now I'm never going to be into penises, but I'm into like feminine presenting people. Like I'm into femmes. So like, if they're thick enough, I don't know. That's just like the first thing. That's like how I do it. So, I think some people are going to be different. There are going to be some people staunchly have genital preferences. And I think that's okay. It's totally not wrong to say, I don't want to date someone with a penis, right? There's nothing wrong with this at all. There's nothing wrong with this at all because we have genital preferences, right? It is wrong to say, I would never date a trans person, especially if they now have the genitals you want. Then you're just saying I won't date them because they're trans. It has nothing to do with the genitals at that point. But like, if it's just like, I would never date a penis, okay, that's fine. Totally fine.
Okay.
Do you, boo-boo?
All right. Like I said at the beginning, I wanted to kind of discuss those two topics. I guess I don't really know how to move forward with this one. So are you okay with going into the Christian God is evil?
You want to move to the Christian God? Yeah. Let me just hold on. Let me do a reset. Hold on. Stop that recording.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling too. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of cracking up on some of the stuff he said, so I got to kind of.
I don't feel like that one should be the same video, but I'll just do this one as part 2. I just feel like those should be 2 completely different videos. Okay. So Toby, back again. You want to talk about the Christian God being evil, right? My stance on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I'll make it real simple. The way I argue it is I believe the Christian God has done evil things. Specifically, I think the way he treated Job was evil. I think the way he treated Abraham was evil. I think the way he treated the firstborn Egyptians was pretty evil, and just kind of, that in a sense. I believe God to be evil because of the actions he takes in the Bible, and I judge God based on the same criteria he judges us. So like, I'm going to judge God in the same way he judges us, because I don't think anybody should be above. If we're talking morality, I think if something's immoral, it should be immoral, not it's immoral because it's me who does it. You know what I mean?
Okay. I do believe that there are some things in the Bible that can be looked at, say from like the outside. But once you kind of really dive into some of the things and some of the stuff that you just talk about. I haven't really done that dive myself. Was the one that you said about would you say the early Egyptians?
Yeah, the firstborn Egyptians. So you know how Moses wanted to free the Jewish people out of Egypt, and
well, I guess I am
he
a little
had
bit
the
familiar with that one.
plagues. Yeah, he had the plagues, and God said, go around and paint lamb's blood on the door frame, and any door with lamb's blood in it, I won't kill those firstborns. And so all the Israelites, they did this, right? The Jewish people, they put the lamb's blood, but the Egyptians didn't because they didn't know. So God killed all their firstborns. I think that's pretty fucked up. Like, personally, I think that's just kind of a fucking crazy thing to do. I think if you're like, especially when I don't know, if I'm God, I would have done something different personally. I feel like God presented himself to Moses. He presented himself to the wrong person.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, God presented himself to the wrong person, right? God showed up to Moses as the burning bush and said, you need to free the Israelite, or you need to free the Jewish people and take them, create Israel, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't he show himself as the bush to the Pharaoh and said, I'm God, free these people? That's what I would have done. And I think that would have worked a little better, but
Why didn't he show up to who?
To the Pharaoh, to the person that was actually doing the...
Yeah, sub on Twitch.
Well,
nice.
I mean, he did though, in a sense. Really, he showed himself through Moses.
Yeah, but I'm not going to believe. I'm not going to believe some. Even if the dude is my brother, right? I'm not going to believe some dude saying, "Well, I'm like."
Okay, but
me, like, think about. Now, admittedly, my knowledge of Moses and the Pharaoh comes from the hit DreamWorks animated film. What the fuck's the name of that movie, chat? The hit DreamWorks animated movie musical Prince of Egypt.
Sorry, my earbud disconnected, so I had to put my phone on speaker.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, so if you think about the Prince of Egypt, what happened was Moses went into the desert as a prince. He shows back years later with a big old beard and said to his brother, yo, I just talked to God. He said, free all the slaves. I too would probably like, what the fuck is going on, bro? What the fuck? This don't seem right. This are you on drugs? Would probably be my first inkling. Whereas if God showed himself to the Pharaoh as a bush and if I was a Pharaoh and I knew I didn't take nothing. I knew my system's clean, and a bush on fire starts talking to me, probably gonna listen to that bush before I listen to the man who just showed back up out the desert in tattered clothes and a big old beard saying that he spoke with God.
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, there was a lot of miracles performed, and he hardened his heart over it. He was set in his ways and really didn't want to do what was right. I mean, when the first boys were killed, when the river turned to blood, what was it? I think it was
locusts.
The frogs. Yeah. Was it locust? I think there was frogs too.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of different things. I mean, even Moses throwing the staff down, it turned into the snake. And
either way, none of this should have escalated to child killing. At the end of the day, the Lord said, "I want to help free children by killing children." I think that's.
But the reason I believe, if I understand this correctly, the reason why those were the things that God chose to do was because all those plagues represented the gods that they worshipped. So it was pretty much showing him, this is the true God. He has power over your God.
Sure, I maybe. I still think it's fucked up to kill all the kids.
Well, they were killing their kids too.
Sure, that doesn't. If I go to a country and that country is committing child sacrifice, but then I do the child sacrifice, I still killed the kid, right? It doesn't matter the country was also doing it. I now showed up and did it. You know what I mean? Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And that's just one of the many fucked up things that God does in the Old Testament. God was pretty bad in the Old Testament. God was a kind of a douchebag, if I'm being honest.
I think because I had to go online and kind of search some of this stuff up. What is the problem with Job? I do have a little bit more of an understanding on that one.
Sure. I mean, God basically tanked Job's whole life to win a bet with Satan. It's kind of fucked up. He let Job's kids get killed, all 7 of Job's children. Somebody said he had 7 sons and 3 daughters, but I've only read 7. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But he let all 7 of Job's children get the axe because he wanted to win a bet. That's kind of fucked.
Yeah, and like I said, I can understand where you're coming from on that. But, you know, when we're talking about these children, you do understand that we're not talking about, like, infants or, like, 5-year-olds or anything like that,
Yeah, they
right?
could have been 50 years old. That doesn't make it okay.
They were, yeah, probably somewhere around that age, maybe even possibly older, because at that time, I believe, Job was, you know, pretty aged, and then at the end, it said I think he lived another 120 years at the time.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't make killing them okay.
But God didn't kill them.
No, God just told Satan
he did allow them to be killed, but
God
he
told
didn't
Satan
kill them.
specifically, you can do anything you want to Job's children, his home, his flocks. You just can't touch Job. So if I, for instance, if I have a gun and I give that gun to a man and say, hey, you can shoot up anybody you want in this school except the principal, I would say I'm pretty culpable in this, right? In some way, shape, or form. It's kind of on me. I loaded the chamber. God could have easily won the bet without letting Satan kill Job's kids. And the other thing is, remember, God's all knowing, so he knew that Satan would kill Job's kids. He knew that that's the action Satan was going to take.
Yeah, that is true. But, you know, going back to your reference or your example with, you know, giving a child a gun, you're also at that time of doing so, you're not all knowing. You don't know every possible outcome. You don't have that forethought for everything.
Yes, which is why it makes it infinitely worse that God
have all
did
of
it.
this.
Yeah, that's why it makes it infinitely worse that God did it, because God is all knowing. So God did know that this would happen.
But God also, if you take the Bible as a whole, you understand that God doesn't use this life or doesn't give much value to this life that you're living right now. It's the life after that that has, you know, way more value. And God tells you, you know, don't he pretty much says that he will work all things out for good in the life of the believer. Pretty much saying that, you know, it doesn't matter what really happens here. It's your soul that that I would be concerned with. So a whole bunch of
that would
crazy
just
bad
be.
stuff can
I
happen
would
here,
just say that makes God a little worse, homie. TBH.
Okay. So you're saying, you know, let's say you live for 100 years, but you're going to be dead for an eternity. Which one has more value?
Both. You can say the eternity has more value, sure, but if this is the case, then we wouldn't mourn any death. No death. All death is okay, right? Why would if this is the case, I would just argue against Christians and say all abortions are not only okay, but kind of necessary, right? Because now we can help people avoid suffering, right? They'll avoid all suffering and spend their entirety of their existence in everlasting peace and harmony.
I see where you're coming from on that, and on the ground level, it sounds fine to just be like, yeah, they never suffer, so what's the point? You know, they might as well just send them to a beautiful afterlife anyways, and why bring them here? But that goes against what God's will would be, so I would deem that to be bad.
Well, but again, I don't necessarily know that it goes against God's will, because God does this all the time. But that's you know, this at this point it'll just be sort of a circle here on like, well, God, let me ask you a question, right? Do you believe God can commit an evil action?
Do I believe he can commit? No. I mean, our Bible tells us that he won't, but I don't know about like if he could.
Yeah, like I would say God absolutely can commit evil, right?
Okay.
So, like, if this is the case, who's to say the actions he made were good? He can commit evil. We're just taking him on his word that the reason he's doing stuff is good. But again, God can also lie. So he could just be telling us.
Well, I mean, the Bible isn't afraid to tell you that God does has wrath, you know. But you can look at that evil, or you can look at that like, okay, God's doing everything he can to protect his children.
Let me ask you a question. If God is good, why does cancer exist?
Oh, that's because of the fall of man.
I'll dial it back. Why does cancer exist in babies?
It's the result of the fall of man.
So babies are being punished because of something they did not do.
Well, yeah, because like he gives you free will, so he can't intercede on every little thing, on everything.
What does free will have to do with
does.
babies getting cancer? There's nothing they could have done.
Oh well, no, there definitely is. I mean, the stuff that they put in food. I mean, look at the ingredient list that is in, you know, any box or anything that you have. A lot of this stuff.
Why did children get cancer? Why did children get cancer when we were eating food fresh off the farm? Why do babies get cancer when they have parents who live completely healthy lives?
Did their parents? I mean, this could be something that ran down genetically too.
That's not how cancer works, though.
From, you know, saying like the grandparents, maybe they didn't eat very healthy, and they put something in there that really mutated something.
That's not how cancer works, though. It seems, though, that God, like, you would agree that God is all powerful, right?
Yes.
Why didn't God just create a world in which we can suffer, but babies can't get cancer? Babies didn't do anything. Why not just make a world in which we have complete free will, but just cancer won't affect you unless you're like 25?
Well, okay, with that, you know, I can't tell you exactly why God did this exact way, but I mean, he does have a plan for redemption. So evil exists right now. Cancer exists right now. A bunch of bad stuff exists right now, right? But it's limited, and it's on a time clock. It's not going to exist forever. God's, you know, he's letting it play out this way. This is the way he decided to create it, and eventually everything will be back to the original how it was meant to be.
Sure, I guess we'll agree to disagree. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'm gonna end the call here.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. You have a good one.
You too. Fully disagree on that one, but okay. Squad, I'm starving. I've been live for about 4 hours, give or take. I am gonna go find some food. We'll do office hours at the start of next stream. I'm starving. I need to get food. I don't have time. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being here. I might be on tomorrow. I don't know if I have something to do tomorrow, but if I don't, I'll be on tomorrow. You'll see me then.
Thank you, Boo.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, TikTok. Have a
Boo.
wonderful day, YouTube. Shout out to super chatters over on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. And shout out to Twitch. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. If I have time, keep an eye out on the Discord. We might do